Chapter 258. Many disciples looked up at the sky. The merit pool has grown bigger? Why is there such a huge amount of merit? Who earned it? The heavenly peak. The extra merit came from the heavenly peak. Heavenly peak? The disciples of the Days sect were surprised. Yan Chuan had just returned and he was already accumulating merit? Mo Wuhui, Gao Bufan, and Feng Tianyu frowned as they looked at the sky. Yan Chuan went out? He should be saving the mortals of the cold country in the north. Feng Tianyu guessed. Merit is boundless. However, now that thousands of demons are escaping, it's fine if they encounter low-level demons. If they encounter high-level demons, will they be in danger? Gao Bufan sighed. Before the sect leader left, he told us not to leave the sect. Moreover, we don't know where Yan Chuan went. We can't do anything about it. Mo Wuhui frowned. How about this? I will send my 7 disciples out to find Yan Chuan and protect Yan Chuan. Gao Bufan thought for a while and said, that would be the best. Feng Tianyu nodded. Mo Wuhui did not say anything. In a valley, Lu Jin and the rest served Yan Chuan. Yan Chuan ate the wolf meat and looked at the two of them. Hua Guang, how do the soldiers feel? In 3 days we have eaten nearly 500 demons. This is something we would never have dared to think about in the past. I asked you, what did you learn from the battle? Yan Chuan smiled. I misunderstood. Battle? The spear art that we learned a month ago is comprehended faster in battle. Hua Guang said with a serious face. Well, this is just the beginning. That was just one city. This mortal country is not just one city. This mortal country is called the Cold Country. We'll kill our way to their capital, Liangjing. We'll kill as many demonic beasts as there are, and we'll let you guys practice. Yan Chuan said. Yes, but in the last battle, 2 soldiers were accidentally bitten to death by the demon wolves. Hua Guang said regretfully. Accidentally? After this, they will know how to be careful. Without experiencing the tempering of countless life and death situations, how can they become lions of 100 battles? Yan Chuan said solemnly. Yes. Hua Guang said regretfully. I understand. When I was a soldier, I already had this awareness. It's just that those 2 soldiers were already in the essence realm. It's such a pity that they died at this moment. Looking at Hua Guang, Yan Chuan smiled faintly, shook his head and said, do you think practitioners don't have to die? Just like mortals, they are very weak, because cultivators also face stronger opponents. When fighting, they must learn how to protect themselves. Yes. When we return to the Yen state, if half of the 3,000 soldiers are still alive, I'll be relieved. Yan Chuan sighed softly. Half? Hua Guang's expression changed. Go and have a meal with the soldiers. Yes, I will definitely protect the soldiers. Hua Guang said solemnly. Nodding, Yan Chuan ignored him and continued to eat the demonic beast. Half of the demonic beast's essence was used to strengthen his body, and the other half was eaten by the poison ivy birthmark on his right wrist. 2 days later, the group arrived at the vicinity of another city. Save me! Kill! In the city, demonic beasts roamed freely. However, there were also close to 1,000 cultivators who were wielding their swords and killing the demonic beasts. Moreover, there was a cultivator who was carrying a huge flag. There were 3 big words written on the flag. Life League. King, these are cultivators from another sect, right? They are also accumulating merits? Hua Guang asked curiously. Life League? Yan Chuan narrowed his eyes. King, you know them? Hua Guang asked curiously. Back then, the Life League had a part to play in forcing my father to his death. Yan Chuan's eyes turned cold. Hua Guang and Lu Jin's expressions changed. King, don't worry. None of these 1,000 people will leave. Hua Guang immediately said in a deep voice. Chapter 259. Your Majesty, don't worry. None of these 1,000 people will leave. Hua Guang immediately said in a deep voice. Yes. Yan Chuan replied in a low voice. I'll go now. Huguang was about to summon the first legion. Now? For what? Yan Chuan shook his head. Wait. Remember, stay calm at all times. These people are fighting with the beasts. Wait until they're done before you attack. Besides, we haven't found their leader yet. Yan Chuan said. Yes. Huguang replied. At the same time, on another mountain peak, there were 5 men in Taoist robes. The 5 of them carried long swords on their backs and looked down at the city below. Big brother, there are people over there. Suddenly, one of them said. Everyone turned around and saw Yan Chuan and his group from afar. 3,000? That many? Another man frowned. Who are these people? While everyone was worried, the leader sneered. Don't worry. I know these people. It's been more than a month. They're the bastards of the Day sect, Yen Tao. The leader sneered. Yan Chuan? That's right. They're just a bunch of people who came from the secular world. The leader said. It's our people who are killing the beasts in the city. Yan Chuan wouldn't want to take advantage of us, would he? Humph, he doesn't deserve it. The leader sneered. Big brother, what should we do? If he wants to defend, then let him. We'll wait for the Life League to earn some merit points, then we'll take care of them. 3,000? We 5 Qi Jing warriors don't have to do anything. The leader said. Yes. At the same time, Yan Chuan turned to look at the 5 men. King, there are people over there. Huguang said. 5 Qi Jing warriors, don't worry. Yan Chuan said. Yes. Huguang nodded. The army waited patiently. Finally, after 4 hours, all the demonic beasts in the distance had been driven away. Nearly 100 of the nearly 1,000 cultivators had died. All of them dragged their fatigue and earned the gratitude of the citizens of the city, earning enough merit. Carrying the corpses of the demonic beasts, the group stepped out of the city. He met up with the other 5 Qi Jing warriors and walked towards Yan Chuan. Yan Chuan led the first legion and slowly walked into a huge canyon. He started to confront the people of the Life League. The 5 Qi Jing warriors sneered at Yan Chuan. You are Yen Tao's vile spawn? The leader sneered. You know my father? Yan Chuan said with a deep smile. How could I not know him? Back then, when we encircled and annihilated your father, we saw him commit suicide with our own eyes. What, are you here to take revenge today? The leader sneered. You're right. Yan Chuan smiled. The 5 of them were slightly stunned. Fierce tiger army formation. Yan Chuan's face turned serious. Yes. Boom boom boom. The 3,000 soldiers immediately stood in their former military formation. Blood qi gushed out, forming the phantom image of a fierce tiger once again. An array? The 5 Qi Jing warriors squinted their eyes. All rivers flow into the sea, gather your blood and qi into my body. Yan Chuan shouted. Roar. The 3,000 soldiers roared and waved their hands. A red qi of blood flowed through the fierce tiger army formation and into Yan Chuan's body. Boom boom boom. Yan Chuan's long hair fluttered in the wind. As the 3,000 qi of blood flowed into his body, a powerful qi of blood exploded around him. The qi of blood spread out and turned the surrounding soil upside down. This is? The leader of the Qi Jing warriors was shocked. Chapter 260. Gathering the strength of 3,000 people? You want me to reach the Qi state? So what if he is at the Qi Jing level? He is at most at the early stage of the Qi Jing level. That's right. His strength has increased to the Qi realm, and he doesn't have any combat experience. There's nothing to worry about. The 5 Qi Jing cultivators said disdainfully, but they all pulled out their swords. Yan Chuan's power suddenly increased. He borrowed the blood and qi from the 3,000 people and reached the early Qi Jing level. Stepping out, he was surrounded by a whirlwind. Xing. Yan Chuan pulled out the Jade Emperor sword. Huguang, reorganize the troops and take a break. Wait for me to kill these 5 Qi Jing warriors. Don't leave a single one alive, Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Understood, Hu Guang replied. He stomped on the ground. Boom. Yan Chuan drew his sword and shot out. A sword cultivator charged forward with a cold expression. Dang, 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 dang. Chi. That practitioner was split in half by Yan Chuan's sword. Old 5. Someone on the other side exclaimed. Impossible? How is that possible? 5 swords? He killed Old 5th with just 5 strikes? The 4 Qi state cultivators' hair stood on end as they stared at Yan Chuan in shock. What kind of sword technique is this? The leader asked with an extremely ugly expression. My Yan Chuan's sword technique is the 24 moves of sword. Unfortunately, he was too weak. He was only able to reach the 5th move before he was cut down by me. Yan Chuan sneered. Attack together, the leader said with an ugly expression. Okay. The other 3 answered at the same time. The 4 of them immediately formed a sword formation and charged towards Yan Chuan. Yan Chuan's lips curled into a cold smile as he charged forward. Clink, 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 clink. As the 2 swords clashed, Yan Chuan's body turned into a blur of shadows. Sword Qi shot out from his hands as he swung his sword, creating hundreds of sword shadows that blocked the attack of the 4 Qi state warriors. Impossible, we 4 sword cultivators can't beat this little brat? Sun and Moon sword formation. Roar. Strong winds blew in all directions, and dust rose in all directions. The smoke and dust was filled with the sword Qi that burst out from the crowd. Hu Guang and Lu Jin both looked worried. Qi. A streak of bloody light soared into the sky. Large amounts of internal organs, intestines, and blood sprayed out. They were colorful and extremely disgusting. Second brother. A cry of surprise came from within the dust. This is only sword 5. Die sword 6. Yan Chuan's cold shout came from within the dust. Qi. Another blood-red light soared into the sky, and an arm flew out of the smoke and dust. Third brother, you killed third brother. 7th swordsman. Qi. Ah, boss is dead. You killed boss. His voice was trembling. Trying to escape? 8th sword. Following Yan Chuan's last shout, a large amount of severed limbs soared into the sky again. The sound in the dust shocked the disciples of the Life League. Before the dust settled, Yan Chuan slowly walked out with blood all over his body. The Jade Emperor's sword turned bright red again. Although Yan Chuan's body was covered in blood, it was not his own. When he walked out coldly, the Imperial Secret Army was shocked. 5 Qi Realm cultivators. Their king killed 5 Qi Realm cultivators? Hu Guang, I'll leave the rest to you, Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Yes. Brothers, the target is 200 feet away from the enemy. Leave no one alive. Kill. Hu Guang shouted. Roar. After 10,000 arrows were shot, the 3,000 soldiers quickly rushed forward. Their king's order was to leave no one alive. Therefore, they could not let them escape. As the army charged forward, the dust from the battlefield also dissipated. When the dust settled, there was a ground full of severed limbs and Qi realm cultivators. Chapter 261. King, are you alright? Lu Jin immediately went up to him. Don't worry, I'll just wash them later. The ferocious tiger army formation won't be able to hold out for long. Those 5 Qi Jing cultivators were asking for it. Yan Chuan said with a smile. Kill. Avenge the old emperor. I'm invincible. 3,000 Jin army soldiers charged forward. The Life League disciples were already exhausted from killing the beasts earlier. How could they face the Jin army? Don't kill me! Help! After a series of screams, they were all killed by the Jin army. The ground was littered with corpses. Search them. Put the items with Lu Jin. Bury them later, Yan Chuan said. Yes. From the bodies of the cultivators, they found some herbs, fasting pills, and 3,000 low-grade spiritual stones. They were all placed in Lu Jin's spatial scroll. As for the weapons, other than the 5 long swords of the 5 Qi Jing experts, Yan Chuan didn't care about the rest. After burying the Life League disciples, they left quickly with the corpses of the beasts. They found a big lake and washed the blood off their bodies. Then, they started to eat again. Hundreds of beasts were eaten in a few days. The biggest benefit of a large supply of beasts was the continuous growth of their profound qi. The group headed towards the capital of the Liang Kingdom. A month later, they arrived at the outskirts of Liang Kingdom. Many of the soldiers had a lot of scars on their bodies. However, none of them complained. In the past month, everyone's combat power had increased by a lot. There were no signs of beasts attacking Liang Kingdom. However, there were cultivators flying in and out from time to time. Apparently, this place had become a temporary camp for cultivators. Let's rest for a while in the city. We'll continue after we recuperate, Yan Chuan said. Yes. Everyone nodded. Yan Chuan led the army towards the city. The Genie army were carrying a lot of beast skins. They were obviously from the Celestial sect. The guards at the city gate didn't dare to stop them. The army slowly entered the city. At this moment, there was a scholarly man holding a feather fan on the city gate tower. He revealed a look of surprise. The man was none other than Mr. Monroe. Yan Chuan? Mr. Monroe asked curiously. There were several people standing behind Mr. Monroe. What's wrong? Does Mr. Monroe know these people? Someone asked curiously. An acquaintance. Mr. Monroe nodded. The one with the sword on his back? But he's only at the 2nd level of the profound realm. A person beside him asked curiously. Does my acquaintance have to have a high cultivation level? Mr. Monroe laughed as he waved his feather fan. Is there something special about that person? Shaking his head gently, Mr. Monroe took a deep breath and said, I shouldn't bother him, but the Holy Sun asked me to do something for him, so I'll do my best. Don't bother him. I'll go see him myself after he settles down. See someone at the profound realm? Mr. Monroe, is this person worthy of your effort? A person beside him asked curiously. His handwriting is better than mine. Do you think he's worthy? Mr. Monroe laughed. Impossible. Handwriting? He's only at the 2nd level of the profound realm. How can his handwriting be compared to yours? Mr. Monroe smiled and didn't explain further. The few of them were astonished. Mr. Monroe, on the other hand, looked towards the city while waving his feather fan. Chapter 262. Liang Jing. Yan Chuan led the army and slowly entered the city. Wherever they went, the people would make way for them. Even the cultivators who stayed behind looked at the 3,000 people in surprise. After all, the equipment of this group of people was too strange. It was almost the same. Such a unified group was rare in the major sections. Yan Chuan was about to send someone to inquire about the situation in the city when he suddenly saw a familiar face. Xiao! A figure instantly appeared in front of Yan Chuan. It was the 3 swordsmen of the Day sect. Wow, so many demonic beast hides? The 3 swordsmen looked at the beast hides carried by the soldiers in surprise. Xiao San, why are you here? Yan Chuan asked curiously. Xiao San? The 3 swordsmen's face fell. Only then did he remember that Yan Chuan was his senior. Uncle Master, actually we have been here for a few days. We have been waiting for you. The 3 swordsmen said helplessly. Oh! The 7 of us and Zhujiansheng are here. Our master asked us to protect you and increase the sect's merit point. We guessed that it was you guys who did it, but we didn't know where you were. In the end, we decided to wait for you in Liangjing. Sure enough, you really came. The 3 swordsmen said proudly. Protect me? Alright, thanks a lot. Yan Chuan smiled faintly. It's my duty. Let's go. We have already picked a good place. Liangjing's flat mountain building. The terrain there is very high and you can overlook the entire city. The three swordsmen laughed. All right, can you get rid of these beast hides? Yan Chuan asked. Leave it to me. A large number of cultivators have gathered in Liangjing this time. I know some people from Carefree City who collect all kinds of materials. The three swordsmen patted his chest and said, That would be great. Yan Chuan nodded. Under the guidance of the three swordsmen, the group walked to the west of Liangjing and arrived at a huge restaurant. Behind the restaurant was a big lake. The 3,000 soldiers washed themselves and rested for the time being. After Yan Chuan took a bath and changed his clothes, he was also led to the restaurant. The restaurant was very spacious, and the people living inside were all high officials and nobles. There were even some cultivators sitting inside. Yan Chuan and his group sat near a window. Lu Jin stood behind Yan Chuan. The 7 swordsmen and Zhu Jiansheng were also sitting at the table. The dining tables were separated by screens. Yan Chuan sipped his tea and looked at the entire Liangjing outside the window. There was a group of palaces in the north and south of Liangjing, and all of them were incomparably majestic. Which side is the imperial palace? Yan Chuan asked curiously. Martial uncle, you don't know this, but Liang capital's terrain is extremely unique. Because it's close to the Demon Wind mountain range, many cultivators will stop here. Just like our flat mountain pavilion, it's actually specially built for cultivators. A temporary place to stay. The three swordsmen said immediately. Yan Chuan nodded. Because cultivators stop here, Liangjing is also quite prosperous. The one in the north is the Liang Kingdom's imperial palace, and the one in the south is called the Immortal Palace. It's a place for some important cultivators to stay. It was specially built by the Liang Kingdom's emperor to please the cultivators. It's as majestic as the imperial palace. The three swordsmen explained. Are all the dynasties in the world trying to please the sex? Yan Chuan frowned. Of course. Dynasties can't collect merit. Other than having a lot of mortals, what else can they do? The 4 swordsmen nodded. Yan Chuan nodded and said no more. However, he was getting more and more confused. Right, martial uncle, you might not know, but something big has happened in the Demon Wind mountain range. At this moment, a large number of disciples from various sects have gathered in Liangjing. They are all going to enter the Demon Wind mountain range. The 3 swordsmen said with envy. Chapter 263. Oh, why? It's a heaven-level cultivation technique. The most powerful technique in the Day sect is only of the earth level. A heaven-level cultivation technique can even become the treasure of a middle-level sect. Many people have risked their lives to search for it. The 3 swordsmen said. Heaven-level cultivation technique? Then why are there still so many people in Liangjing? Because the Holy Sun of the Dazhao Holy Ground is here. Many cultivators responded to the Holy Sun's summons. As long as you help the Holy Sun find the heaven-level cultivation technique, the Holy Sun will give you 10 earth-level cultivation technique. Think about it. How can a heaven-level cultivation technique be so easy to get? However, as long as you follow the Holy Sun and find some information, you can get the earth-level cultivation technique. Who wouldn't want it? The 3 swordsmen said. All the cultivators in the city follow the orders of the Holy Sun? Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. The Holy Sun is amazing. The Guyu Holy Sun of the Dazhao Holy Ground is rumored to have become an emptiness realm expert 100 years ago. He has many powerful subordinates and countless talents. The 3 swordsmen explained. Oh right, the Guyu Holy Sun is now living in the Immortal Palace. Zhu Jiansheng said. While they were talking, the waiter of the hotel walked over. Sorry to disturb you. May I know which one of you is Yan Chuan? The waiter asked respectfully. What's the matter? Yan Chuan asked in confusion. Someone claims to be your friend and wants to see you. The waiter said respectfully. Who is it? Yen Chuan was slightly confused. Prince Yen, long time no see. A bright voice sounded. When Ruo, dressed in white, walked out from behind the waiter with a feather fan in her hand. Mr. Monroe? Zhu Jiansheng and the others were surprised. When Ruo nodded at the crowd. Then, she turned to look at Yen Chuan. Oh, it's Mr. Monroe. Excuse me for not going out to meet you. Please come in. Yen Chuan stood up and greeted him. When Ruo nodded and walked over. Everyone, I would like to speak to Yen Chuan alone. Is it possible? When Ruo looked at Zhu Jiansheng and the others and said, No problem, I'll sit at the table next to you. Everyone said politely. At the same time, they all looked at Wen Ruo in surprise. They didn't expect him to come here. Yen Chuan frowned slightly, but didn't say anything. Have a seat, Yen Chuan said. When Ruo nodded and sat down, Lu Jin poured tea for them. It seems that Mr. Monroe didn't come here to catch up with me, Yen Chuan said with a smile as he sipped his tea. We're here to catch up, and we also have something to discuss. When Ruo said naturally, It's good to catch up. Mr. Monroe is still as handsome as ever. Yen Chuan said with a smile. Mr. Monroe smiled bitterly and said, Prince Yen, you're too kind. Last time, you were with the saint. This time, you're with the Holy Sun. Mr. Monroe seems to be very popular in the Dazhao Holy Ground. Yen Chuan said with a smile. You're busy. Prince Yen, don't you want to know about the saint? Mr. Monroe said with a smile. Moushi. How is she now? Yen Chuan asked with a serious face. It's a perfect battle. She has handed the Million Wonders demonic lotus to Mohina Dojin. Moreover, her cultivation is about to break through. When we came out, she was in seclusion. Qing Long and the others were guarding her. Mr. Monroe said. Breakthrough? Her cultivation is indeed fast. Yen Chuan nodded his head. Hee, it seems that I've underestimated you. Mr. Monroe said with a strange smile. Meng Rongrong is my sister. You made her very angry last time. Mr. Monroe said with a smile. Chapter 264. Your sister? So, you're the eldest son of the Jiulu Academy? Yen Chuan was slightly surprised. Mr. Monroe smiled bitterly and shook his head. It's all in the past. Let's not talk about it. Okay. Yen Chuan nodded and stopped talking about it. I've seen your wisdom and knowledge in the feng shui formation. I'd like to ask for your help this time. Mr. Monroe said after some thought. Help? Guyu Holy Sun has brought a group of powerhouses from the Dazhao Holy Ground and even recruited a large number of powerhouses from the surrounding sections. He's going to enter the Devilish Wind Mountains with a promise of great benefits. I'd like to invite you along. Mr. Monroe said directly. Promise of great benefits? Yen Chuan asked curiously. You should have heard that Guyu Holy Sun promised 10 Earth-level techniques for a Heaven-level technique. Mr. Monroe said. Yen Chuan took a sip of tea and smiled. Heaven-level techniques? Is that so? Why? You don't believe me? Mr. Monroe smiled. How do you expect me to believe you? Thousands of monsters are fleeing. Is this the sign of a heaven-level technique? This is the territory of the demonic beasts. Those demonic beasts are fleeing in all directions in fear. What do you think it is? Yen Chuan laughed. Mr. Monroe's face stiffened, then he smiled bitterly. I knew I couldn't hide it from you. Something big must have happened in the Devilish Wind Mountains. I'm sure of it. It's extremely dangerous, so dangerous that some monsters don't dare to stay there. Tell me, why would I, an essence state cultivator, go to such a dangerous place with you? If there are benefits, I won't get them. If there's a disaster, I'll be the first to suffer. Am I right? Yen Chuan smiled. Mr. Monroe smiled bitterly and nodded. I was too rash. I should be the one thanking you. At the very least, you didn't let Guyu Holy Sun recruit me. Yen Chuan said with a smile. Mr. Monroe sighed and shook his head. Actually, even now, I don't know what's inside. Oh! Guyu Holy Sun still doesn't trust me. Mr. Monroe smiled bitterly. Yen Chuan looked at Mr. Monroe in surprise. Ha ha! Mr. Monroe laughed casually. He picked up his teacup and continued to drink his tea. Yen Chuan also picked up his teacup and drank his tea as he looked at the vast Liangjing. Yen Chuan's eyes suddenly narrowed. Two figures suddenly appeared on the roof of the largest palace in the Liangjing Imperial Palace. Of the two figures, one wore a green robe, had a prominent forehead bone, and stood with his hands behind his back. His face was pale green, and he was handsome and arrogant. Although he did not release any aura, his entire person gave people a feeling that he was one with heaven and earth. He stood proudly in the wind, and his eyes were full of loftiness. Yen Chuan had seen many people. Although he only saw his appearance, he could tell at a glance that this person was not an ordinary person. Since he woke up in this life, this person had the most powerful aura. Beside him was a yellow-haired man. The man sat cross-legged with a guqin on his knees. Yao Tianshang? Mr. Monroe's expression changed. Yao Tianshang? Who is he? Yen Chuan asked immediately. He's not a human. He's a demon. In the past, he wiped out a middle-level sect by himself. He's a powerful demon from the northern demon tribe. He fought with Guyu Holy Sun a few times. Although they were evenly matched, Yao Tianshang's aura was getting stronger and stronger. Guyu Holy Sun was gradually unable to suppress him. Now he's here again? Something's going to happen. I'm going back. We'll meet again if fate wills it. Mr. Monroe's expression changed. He flew out of the flat mountain inn. Yao Tianshang? Yen Chuan looked curiously at the arrogant green-robed demon. Chapter 265. I will climb to the top and look down on all the other mountains. Yao Tianshang stood on top of the Forbidden City as he stared coldly in the direction of the Immortal Palace in the south. King Spider. Yao Tianshang smiled faintly. The yellow-haired man sitting cross-legged at the side immediately nodded and said, "Yes, my lord." As he spoke, he gently placed his hands on the guqin, as if he was about to play it. Flat Mountain Inn. After Mr. Monroe left, Zhujian Sheng and the others surrounded them again. 8 fingers. Zhujian Sheng looked in surprise at the yellow-haired man playing the zither in the distance. He's a spider demon, Yen Chuan said in a deep voice. Spider demon? Great demon? A virtual realm great demon? Zhujian Sheng's expression immediately changed. The emptiness realm. That's right, it was the emptiness realm. However, Yen Chuan valued Yao Tianshang more. Judging from the spider demon's attitude, it seemed like it was completely subservient to Yao Tianshang. Wang Zhu stroked his guqin. He waved his hands outwards. The rapid sound of the zither immediately rang out. Clink, clink, clink. The sound of needles piercing suddenly resounded throughout the entire Liangjing. Ah! My ears! Ah, I can't hear you! Countless commoners suddenly rolled on the ground in pain. Suddenly, the roof of the Immortal Palace exploded. Hong! A large number of practitioners flew into the sky from all directions of the Celestial Palace. They all looked at the top of the Forbidden City in surprise. Who would have thought that someone would dare to provoke the Holy Sun? This is a sound technique? Zhujian Sheng exclaimed in surprise. In the direction of the Celestial Palace, about 200 cultivators flew into the sky. They all pulled out their long swords, and their faces were gloomy. And at the top of the most majestic palace of the Immortal Palace, 10 people slowly walked up. 7 of them were sitting cross-legged with a guqin placed on their knees. There were 3 people in the center. The leader was dressed in a golden robe and wore a crane-shaped golden crown on his head. His eyes were cold as if he was looking down on the world. The man's aura was equally powerful. The 2 people behind him were dressed in purple, as if they were his subordinates. Yao Tianshang, you still dare to come? the man with the golden crown said in a deep voice. At the top of the forbidden city, Yao Tianshang's face flashed with arrogance as he said, "Why wouldn't I dare to come? Gu Yu, I'm here to give you merit this time." Merit? Gu Yu Holy Sun said coldly. "Of course. Spider King, let's begin." Yao Tianshang said solemnly. "Yes." King Spider nodded with an evil smile. Cling, 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 cling. His hands quickly strummed the guqin. Suddenly, a large amount of guqin music radiated in all directions. The sounds of the guqin were like overlapping white waves. They were faintly discernible in the void as they swept toward the Immortal Palace. Rumble! Layers of huge waves washed across the sky. Wherever the huge waves passed, Liangjing was hit by an unprecedented storm. Under the sound of the zither, countless buildings collapsed rapidly. "My head hurts! My head hurts!" Under the sound of the zither, it was as if they could not take it anymore. All of the commoners were rolling on the ground. 7 guqin attendants, Gu Yu Holy Sun said in a deep voice. Yes. The 7 guqin masters sitting at the side quickly strummed their guqin. Cling, cling, cling. Cling, cling, cling. The 7 of them played their guqin at the same time. In an instant, the sound of the 7 guqin masters formed tangible sound waves that crashed towards King Spider's guqin wave. Hong. Chapter 266. When the 2 guqin waves collided, there was a loud crash. Where the guqin waves intersected, a huge tornado was formed. The powerful impact swept across the entire Liang capital and spread in all directions. Boom! All the houses in Yen capital collapsed. Even the flat mountain restaurant that Yen Chuan was in was shaking, and many of the screens inside fell down. Many customers ran out of the restaurant in fear. 7 guqin servants, that's all you got. Haha, let me teach you what a real guqin is. Wang Zhu said with an evil smile. Dong, 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 dong. As soon as the sound changed, Wang Zhu's guqin waves increased by more than 10 times. Wave after wave rushed out and suppressed the music of the 7 guqin servants. At the same time, rays of light appeared in Wang Zhu's guqin waves. Hum! 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 Among the zither waves, long sabers that were abnormally bright suddenly appeared. There were about 1,000,000 sabers in total. The sabers immediately pointed towards the divine palace. Go, the waves are surging. Ha! Wang Zhu laughed. Boom! The millions of long sabers formed by the guqin waves suddenly turned into a huge storm of sabers and swept towards the opposite side. Wherever the storm of sabers passed, the sound was ear-piercing again. Hum! Countless people lost their sight. Ordinary people covered their heads and rolled on the ground. Even the cultivators who flew into the sky at the beginning vomited blood and fell to the ground. Ding ding! The sound of guqin spread in all directions and covered the entire Liang capital. Ah! The painful cries of the embroidered uniform army came from the backyard where Yen Chuan was. The 3,000 embroidered uniform army also felt their ears explode. Ah! My ears are so piercing! The 3 swordsmen also exclaimed. I can't cover it. I can still hear it if I cover my ears. Zhu Jiansheng said with a pale face. Wang, Wang. Lu Jin covered her ears in pain. It's useless. The sound of guqin doesn't need to go through the ears. It can enter the brain. Yen Chuan said. King, the old slave is dying. Lu Jin fell to the ground in pain. Akala seal, heart seal. Yen Chuan shouted. Yes. Lu Jin painfully quickly formed the Akala seal. While forming the seal, Lu Jin chanted an incantation. Her whole body trembled, and bean-sized beads of sweat fell from her face. However, after forming the Akala seal, Lu Jin immediately felt better. At least, she wasn't in as much pain as before. Why, Your Majesty! Huaguang led 3,000 members of the embroidered uniform army to the front of the flat mountain inn. Akala seal, heart seal. Yen Chuan ordered. Yes. Huaguang and the 3,000 members of the embroidered uniform army quickly formed hand seals. Akela suppressed the demonic sound from entering their ears. Oh, help! My ears! In Liangjing, not only the common people, but countless cultivators were also covering their ears in pain. Millions of Guqin blades swept across Yanjing and rushed towards the heavenly palace. The 7 Guqin attendants were all shocked. They played the Guqin even faster. Virum. Under the Guqin music, the 7 of them formed a huge hemispherical shield in front of the heavenly palace. Rumble. The Guqin blades slashed on the hemispherical shield. A deafening sound of impact pierced the 9 heavens and suppressed everything. Chapter 267. The sound waves crashed into each other. The common people were dying, the Essence Realm cultivators were rolling on the ground in dissatisfaction, and the Qi Realm cultivators were clutching their heads in pain, trying to escape. But where could they go now? The ground was shaking. If they tried to escape, they would be hit by more sound waves, and the sky would be filled with cultivators who fell to the ground, vomiting blood. The 7 zither attendants all vomited blood on their gyukins. They couldn't hold on any longer. Ha ha ha, I have stronger ones here. How can you call yourself the 7 zither attendants? Wang Zhu laughed arrogantly. At this moment, Mr. Monroe arrived at the heavenly palace. Mr. Monroe, play the Guqin. Guyu shouted. Guyu Holy Sun wasn't afraid of the Guqin, but it was a battle between their subordinates. Guyu Holy Sun had to keep an eye on Yao Tianshang, so he couldn't make a move. Holy Sun, I'm not good at gyukins. I'll try my best. Mr. Monroe smiled bitterly. As he spoke, Mr. Monroe took out a Guqin and sat down cross-legged. Dong 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 dong. As Mr. Monroe played, the 7 zither attendants seemed to have been helped by the gods. They were at a disadvantage. As soon as Wenruo started to play her zither, waves of zither music rushed out and strengthened the protective shield. But they could only defend. Ah! Zhu Jiansheng and the others cried out in pain. Just like Huaguang, use the Akalanatha seal. Yan Chuan instructed. Okay. The 7 swordsmen and Zhu Jiansheng quickly imitated Huaguang and used the Akalanatha seal. Yan Chuan was able to resist all the demonic sounds because of his strong will as an emperor in his previous life. The ground around the flat mountain building was shaking, but the building was strangely becoming more and more stable. Yan Chuan looked around in surprise. The flat mountain building was surrounded by cultivators who were rolling on the ground. However, there was one exception. The screens inside the flat mountain building had all collapsed. Yan Chuan saw a black-robed man sitting peacefully by a window not far away. Azure clouds were embroidered on his black robes, making him look extremely mysterious. The man sat by the window with a glass of wine in his hand. As he drank, he admired the battle between the two sides. At the feet of the black-robed man, Yan Chuan saw a round wheel. The image of the 8 trigrams appeared around the wheel. The wheel seemed to have appeared out of thin air as it spun slowly. The entire flat mountain became more and more stable. Feng Shui Master? Yan Chuan's eyes lit up. Stepping on the ground to form a wheel. This was no ordinary Feng Shui Master. With Yan Chuan's keen eyes, he could tell at a glance that this person was calm and powerful. Taking a deep breath, Yan Chuan stepped forward. I am Yan Chuan. May I know your name? Yan Chuan asked solemnly. The black-robed man was completely wrapped in the black robes. His face could not be seen clearly, but he continued drinking his wine. I am Yan Chuan. May I know your name? Yan Chuan asked solemnly. At this moment, the black-robed man glanced at Yan Chuan. However, the brim of his hat was pitch black, like an abyss. Yan Chuan could not see his face clearly. Essence Realm. The black-robed man's voice was slightly hoarse. I am Yan Chuan. May I know your name? Yan Chuan asked again with a smile. This is the Spider King's 8 Sky Demon Note. If you can last until the end, I will tell you. the black-robed man said with a hoarse voice. Do you know the Spider King? Yan Chuan asked curiously. No, but I have seen him use this guqin to kill an emptiness realm expert. The Spider King was originally a formidable person. I did not expect him to submit to Yao Tianshang, the black-robed man said in a deep voice. Sir, may I sit down and have a drink? Yan Chuan asked with a smile. You can resist the demonic notes with your essence realm cultivation. You are quite something. Sit down, the black-robed man said calmly. Chapter 268. To be able to resist this demonic sound with your essence realm cultivation, you're quite something. Take a seat, the black-robed man said calmly. Yan Chuan swayed the corner of his robe and slowly sat down. Looking at the black-robed man, Yan Chuan smiled. Yan Chuan's purpose in entering the cultivation world this time was to recruit all kinds of talent. Although the feng shui master in front of him did nothing or said anything, Yan Chuan could see that he was extraordinary at a glance. Yan Chuan was thirsty for talents, so he treated them with respect. However, from the black-robed man's words, Yan Chuan could feel a sense of rejection. Do you want to recruit now? What an idiotic dream. He was just a practitioner at the bottom of the refined state. How could he make the powerful feng shui master work for him? Moreover, it was a path that no one had taken before. Since he couldn't summon them, what was the point of talking about grand ambitions? What a joke. To Yan Chuan, an unequal conversation had no value at all. It would be better if he did not say anything. However, Yan Chuan still sat down. It was for no other reason than to express his attitude and establish good karma. In the future, he would slowly display his strength and convince this expert. Picking up another glass of wine, Yan Chuan drank while watching the battle outside. The black-robed man was surprised. Yan Chuan had introduced himself 3 times in a row just now in order to get close to him. Now, he had just sat down and he had stopped talking? The black-robed man looked at Yan Chuan strangely, but his attention was quickly drawn to the battle outside. At the top of the Forbidden City, Spider King's zither continued to play, as if he couldn't hear the wails of the city. He looked into the distance and played the zither continuously, faster and faster. The guqin attacks were getting stronger and stronger. Yao Tianshang stood beside King Spider as a cold smile appeared on his face. Gu Yu, this is a gift of merit for you. The lives of all the people in the city will depend on your ability. Yao Tianshang laughed coldly. In the east, my Dazhao holy ground is the sky. Yao Tianshang, do you really want to leave your life in the east? Gu Yu Holy Sun said in a low voice. Humph, stay? The world is so big, who can stop me? The Demon Wind mountain range belongs to us demons. Remember to tell the Daolords of the Dazhao sacred ground that the wrath of the demons will result in corpses for thousands of miles. This city is the example of the Dazhao sacred ground. Yao Tianshang said coldly. Role model? Gu Yu Holy Sun snorted coldly. King Spider. Yao Tianshang said solemnly. Yes. King Spider replied. King Spider suddenly turned the zither in his hand. Boom, 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 boom. The sound of the zither was dull, as if one could vaguely hear the sound of war drums. Roar! 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 Countless phantoms suddenly appeared in the area covered by Wang Spider's guqin music. At first, there were only sabers, but now, each saber had a master. One by one, the armored skeletons opened their mouths and roared angrily. Each one of them held a large saber and charged toward the opposite Immortal Palace. Roar! The 1,000,000 skeletons grabbed their large sabers and roared as they swept out. The entire world was filled with the sound of death. It swept towards the opposite Immortal Palace. Boom! Boom! Like a surging river, it rushed toward the barrier. Buzz! The sound barrier created by Mr. Monroe and the 7 zither attendants shook as if it would shatter at any moment. Ha 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 ha! King Spider continued to play excitedly, faster and faster, more and more ferocious. Bam! 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 Under the powerful sound wave, a large number of people in Liangjing exploded. His sound technique became stronger and stronger. Chapter 269. Ah! Countless cultivators in the city cried out in pain. Even the Qi realm cultivators were rolling on the ground in pain. The pain was getting worse. The embroidered uniform army members sitting cross-legged in the flat mountain building couldn't bear the pain even though they were holding the Akalanatha seal. Their faces were contorted in pain and they were covered in sweat. One of them even foamed at the mouth. The embroidered uniform army members were swaying. They couldn't hold on any longer. Whoosh! Yan Chuan suddenly stood up. It wasn't easy for him to bring the embroidered uniform army out. How could he let them die here? Ferocious tiger army formation! Yan Chuan shouted. The embroidered uniform army members who were in pain heard Yan Chuan's words and immediately became spirited. They formed hand seals and stood up with difficulty. They stood out of the formation with difficulty. Puff! Puff! A dozen embroidered uniform army members spat out blood. They were injured by the sound technique. Yan Chuan stepped in front of the fierce tiger army formation. Bang! A large amount of blood and qi gushed out from the embroidered uniform army members and formed a huge tiger with the help of the formation. Yan Chuan's blood and qi condensed into the tiger's eyes. Wind follows the tiger, roar to the sky. Yan Chuan shouted. Roar! Yan Chuan and the 3,000 embroidered uniform army members roared at the sky at the same time. The blood-red tiger formed by the formation also stomped on the ground and roared at the top of the forbidden city. Roar! Roar! The tiger's roar pierced the 9 heavens. Moreover, the tiger's roar was very long. The more it roared, the louder it became. It wasn't as moving as the sound of the zither. It was just a barbaric roar that seemed to want to tear the sky apart. The huge roar formed a sound wave that rushed towards the top of the forbidden city. The tiger's roar was like a sharp sword that tore through the zither waves and rushed towards the unprepared Spider King. King Spider looked at the sound technique that appeared out of nowhere in surprise. This sound technique was not powerful. In the past, King Spider would not even care about it. But now, King Spider's sound technique was almost all concentrated on the front line, in the direction of the Immortal Palace. Millions of skeletal soldiers were like a long river, breaking the dam on the opposite side. This sound technique that suddenly came from the side caught the King Spider off guard. You're courting death. The King Spider glared. His fingers moved slightly. A Guqin wave came and collided with the tiger's roar. Hong! Guqin waves and sound techniques collided, creating a huge storm. A strong rebounding force was emitted, and the blood qi tiger exploded with a loud bang. Ah! The 3,000 soldiers were also sent flying by the shockwave, crashing into the flat mountain inn with a loud bang. Poof! 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 The members of the embroidered uniform army all spat out blood, heavily injured and dispirited. Ding! A crisp sound came from the top of the forbidden city. Rumble! The vast demon skeleton army exploded with a loud boom. Under the huge explosion, the Guqin wave barrier in the distance also exploded. Poof! Poof! The 7 zither attendants were sent flying while spitting out blood. Mr. Monroe barely blocked the impact. Although he didn't spit out blood, his insides were churning from the impact. His face turned red, and he looked at the top of the forbidden city in surprise. Chapter 270. On the summit of the forbidden city, Spider King stood up with an unsightly expression. Spider King was not injured at all. The only difference was the Guqin in his hand. One of the strings of the Guqin had snapped during the tiger roar. As soon as the zither string was broken, the great sound disaster was completely over. When the music stopped, the surroundings suddenly became quiet. At the same time, almost everyone turned to look at the Flat Mountain Inn. The Flat Mountain Inn was in a mess. Countless cultivators were still rolling on the ground in pain. Even the 3,000 members of the embroidered uniform army were severely injured. Only Hua Guang was in a better condition. He endured his injuries and walked to stand behind Yen Chuan. Yen Chuan stood in front of the Flat Mountain Inn and stared coldly at the summit of the Forbidden City. At this moment, everyone was looking at Yen Chuan. Yao Tianshang was no exception. The two of them looked at each other. Yao Tianshang squinted his eyes. Yao Tianshang was also a powerful person. He saw a domineering aura in Yen Chuan's eyes, a powerful domineering aura. A domineering aura that he had never seen before? An essence realm cultivator? How could he bear such a domineering gaze? Yen Chuan squinted his eyes as well. Arrogance. Absolute arrogance. Yen Chuan had never seen such arrogance in Yao Tianshang's eyes. Even in his previous life, Yen Chuan had never seen such an arrogant gaze. Yen Chuan's evaluation of Yao Tianshang rose again. As the two of them looked at each other, a voice suddenly rang out. Yao Tianshang, your Guqin waves are broken. Don't you remember what I said? Gu Yu's cold voice rang out. This time, Yao Tianshang shifted his gaze to Gu Yu Holy Sun, who was far away. Yao Tianshang sneered and did not answer Gu Yu Holy Sun. Spider King, let's go. Yao Tianshang said indifferently. Yes. Spider King nodded. Before leaving, Yao Tianshang glanced at Yen Chuan again. He frowned and pondered for a while. Then, he shot toward the northwest Wind Demon Mountain. Yao Tianshang and Spider King, the two Emptiness Realm experts, disappeared before everyone's eyes. The once prosperous Liangjing had now become a pile of ruins. There were countless casualties. Even if they were still alive, they were still in pain and wouldn't be able to recover in a short time. Yao Tianshang and King Spider left. On the other side, Gu Yu Holy Sun also stared at Yen Chuan. As he took a step forward, his figure flashed and appeared in front of Yen Chuan. Following Gu Yu Holy Sun were two purple-robed men. The purple-robed men were expressionless, as if they were Gu Yu Holy Sun's lackeys. With the arrival of Gu Yu Holy Sun, more and more experts flew over from behind. Yen Chuan glanced at the Flat Mountain Inn. At that moment, the black-robed man in the Flat Mountain Inn had disappeared. Yen Chuan frowned and sighed in his heart. He turned to look at the ancient Moon Holy Sun who was flying over. Gu Yu Holy Sun was also looking around. Looking at the group of people lying on the ground in pain, a trace of confusion appeared on his face. Swoosh! Mr. Monroe came closer. Holy Sun, this is Yen Chuan, the son of Yen Tao? Mr. Monroe introduced. Yen Tao's son? Ha, like father, like son. Gu Yu Holy Sun looked at Yen Chuan with a scrutinizing expression. Gu Yu Holy Sun, you flatter me. Yen Chuan smiled faintly. Flatter? You helped me, the Holy Sun, defeat the two demons just now. Who else could have done that? I have to thank you for this defeat. Gu Yu Holy Sun smiled faintly. Oh, thank you, Gu Yu Holy Sun. My subordinates were all injured by Qin Lang. Gu Yu Holy Sun is the Holy Sun of the Dazhao Holy Land. You must have good medicine to treat them. If you want to thank me, just heal my subordinates. Yen Chuan smiled faintly. Huh! The surrounding practitioners were puzzled. No one expected Yen Chuan to really ask for something. You're too direct. Can't you be more polite? The Holy Sun's reward was much better than this. Only Mr. Monroe's eyes flashed with a hint of appreciation. Yen Chuan did this to draw a clear line between him and Gu Yu Holy Sun. If you want to thank me, I'll ask for something by name. He was very direct. He turned the help just now into a business deal. In this way, Gu Yu Holy Sun would not be able to get close to him. Chapter 271. Feng Yinyang. Gu Yu Holy Sun looked at Yen Chuan in surprise. That's easy. I have a bottle of divine dew rain. It can help them recover immediately. Guyu Holy Sun smiled. As he spoke, he took out a small bottle and gently poured it out. Under Guyu Holy Sun's control, the divine dew rain floated in the air. Guyu Holy Sun waved his hand gently. Bang! The divine dew rain was instantly dispersed and rushed into the bodies of the people who were rolling on the ground. Instantly, everyone's pain was alleviated. Tell everyone to sit down and meditate, Yan Chuan said to Huaguang. Yes. Huaguang quickly went forward and ordered the embroidered uniform army to sit down and meditate. Holy Sun, you're swift and decisive. Yan Chuan is impressed. Yan Chuan said with a smile. I've heard about you. Guyu Holy Sun smiled at Yan Chuan. Oh! They say you're very smart. My palace Guyu needs talents like you. Mr. Monroe should have told you about our trip to the Demon Wind Mountains, right? Guyu Holy Sun said with a smile. Mr. Monroe raised his eyebrows and immediately turned to look at a man in a Taoist robe. His eyes were spitting fire. Yan Chuan roughly understood the situation when he saw Mr. Monroe's expression. Following Mr. Monroe's gaze, Yan Chuan also looked at the man. He was a rugged man with narrow eyes that glowed from time to time. When he looked at Yan Chuan, there was a hint of coldness in his eyes. Who is this? Yan Chuan asked curiously. Guyu Holy Sun looked at Yan Chuan in surprise. Yan Chuan actually found the person who reported to him in an instant? This is the leader of the Life League. He's my friend, Immortal Wei Qian. Guyu Holy Sun said. The leader of the Life League, Immortal Wei Qian? So it's the Life League. Ah. Yan Chuan said with a smile. The Life League. A few days. He had just killed 5 Qi Realm warriors from the League. You know him? Guyu Holy Sun asked. Was confused. Guyu Holy Sun. Guyu Holy Sun. Guyu Holy Sun is Guyu. I Gu Y and Sun. You as Y. Oh. Guyu Holy Sun squinted his eyes. Looking at Wei Qian and Yan Chuan, Guyu Holy Sun smiled and said, If that's the case, I won't force you. Guyu will remember the help you gave me today. If you have any problems in the future, you can find me at the Dazhao Holy Sun. And Yan Chuan nodded. Inform everyone to head to the Demon Wind Mountain Range immediately. Guyu Holy Sun turned around and said, Yes. Everyone answered. As Guyu Holy Sun spoke, he soared into the sky. A cloud appeared under his feet. Everyone followed him. Some of them quickly returned to the Immortal Palace and gathered a large number of cultivators. All of them headed towards the Demon Wind Mountain Range. Those who could fly followed behind Guyu Holy Sun. Those who couldn't fly jumped on the ground and followed him. There were thousands of cultivators in the group. More than half of the cultivators in Liangjing left with Guyu Holy Sun. Watching Guyu Holy Sun leave, Yan Chuan pondered for a moment. The alliance leader of the Life League, Wei Qian? Yan Chuan squinted his eyes. While everyone was enjoying the nourishment of the divine dew rain, Yan Chuan returned to the table where the black-robed man was sitting. The black-robed man had already left. However, he left 3 words on the table. The 3 words were left behind with wine. Feng Yinyang. Feng Yinyang? Your name is Feng Yinyang? Yan Chuan looked at the 3 words in confusion. With a gentle wave of his hand, Yan Chuan wiped away the words written on the wine on the table and smiled. At least, he now knew the name of this feng shui master. Feng Yinyang. Chapter 272. Yan Chuan walked out of the flat mountain inn slowly. Everyone was still recuperating. Yan Chuan looked at the entire Liang capital. Liang capital had been turned into a pile of ruins. Only a few people who were still alive were rolling on the ground in pain. Yan Chuan didn't feel that Yao Tianshang was in the wrong in this battle. After all, they stood from different perspectives and saw different problems. Humans cherished human lives, and demons cherished demon lives. Wiping out an entire city of civilians was like killing a bunch of demonic beasts. It was a normal thing. However, Yao Tianshang was not ordinary. A great demon from the north dared to provoke a sacred ground in the east? Whoosh! Whoosh! A large number of cultivators flew into Liang capital from all directions. All of them were shocked. What exactly happened in Liang capital? Was it destroyed? Yan Chuan ignored them and waited for his subordinates to get up. The first ones to get up were Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen. After all, the 8 of them had higher cultivation. Phew, what a powerful divine do reign. I'm fully recovered. Nonsense. You couldn't have enjoyed that in the past. Everyone was talking at once. Zhu Jiansheng walked to Yan Chuan with a strange expression. Martial uncle, you're fine? Zhu Jiansheng asked with a complicated expression. Yan Chuan smiled and did not say anything. Martial uncle, I didn't expect your 3,000 embroidered uniform army to be able to use sound technique. That's amazing. The 3 swordsmen laughed. Yeah, I didn't expect them to be so powerful. Martial uncle, something big must have happened in Demon Wind mountain range. Why don't we go in and take a look? The 4 swordsmen said with anticipation. As soon as the 4 swordsmen spoke, everyone looked at Yan Chuan with anticipation. Why? Do you want to go in? Yan Chuan laughed. Of course. With so many experts going in, something big must have happened. The 8 of us should join in the fun. Even if we can't get what's inside, we can at least take a look. The 3 swordsmen said immediately. Then why don't you go in? Yan Chuan asked in confusion. Alas, we also want to, but our master won't let us. The 4 swordsmen said helplessly. However, martial uncle, if you are willing to go in, then we can go in. The 3 swordsmen had a fawning expression. Oh! Our master can't stop you. Master told us to protect you. Wherever you go, we will go. As long as you go, we can go. The 3 swordsmen laughed. That's right. Martial uncle, why don't we go and take a look as well? Everyone nodded. Go away. Yan Chuan laughed and shouted. Thousands of demons have escaped from Demon Wind mountain range. Wouldn't we be courting death if we went in? We just need to kill the escaping demon beasts in the periphery. Yan Chuan said with certainty. Don't, uncle, listen to me. The 3 swordsmen tried to persuade him. Ming! Ming! Suddenly 2 crisp and long cries resounded throughout the entire Liangjing. Everyone looked up. A green light flashed in the distance. The green light came from the horizon and arrived above Liangjing in the blink of an eye. That's fast, Zhu Jiansheng said in surprise. The green light stopped in the air, and everyone could see it clearly. It was 2 green birds that were about 30 meters long. The green birds were extremely beautiful and emitted a gentle green light. Green Luan? It's a green Luan? The 3 swordsmen said in surprise. The 2 green Luans flapped their wings and floated in the air. At the same time, they were pulling a white limousine. Chapter 273. Zhu Jiansheng exclaimed in surprise. Green Luan pulling the carriage. Who exactly is inside? The carriage was like a huge house, but it was surrounded by a platform. 10 men stood on the platform. The 10 men's faces were very old-fashioned and expressionless. In front of the white carriage, there was a curtain. It was as if 2 maids were slowly pulling the curtain apart. Ka. The 10 old-fashioned men knelt on one knee and respectfully waited for the person to walk out of the house. This scene surprised many people. Who exactly was inside the carriage that was pulled by the green Luan? Slowly, a woman in white walked out from the carriage. The woman was wearing a white veil, which made her look like a holy lotus flower. The woman held a jade flute in her hand and slowly stepped onto the platform. The gentle breeze blew the woman's hair, making her look extremely beautiful. The woman's face was fair and white, and she was extremely beautiful. Even though she was not as exceptional as Meng Rongrong, she was more elegant and refined. It made people hold their breaths when they looked at her, and they did not want to disturb her. I'm late. Let's continue on our way. The woman said softly. Caw, caw. The two green luans seemed to understand human language, and let out a long caw. At the flat mountain inn, Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen looked at the holy woman, not wanting to disturb her. Only Yan Chuan's eyes were moist, and his whole body was trembling. Rower? Are you Rower? Yan Chuan looked at the holy woman on the green luan carriage in disbelief. I'm Zhenro. What's your name? Who wants you to send flowers? I don't like it, I don't like it. Why don't I keep one? Be your wife? Dream on. Hubby Rower wants to eat the ice heart lotus seed. Hubby Rower will definitely give birth to a baby for you. No, give birth to 10 babies. I'll give birth to 10 babies for you. Ah, don't. It's broad daylight. How can you? Hubby, my father prepared this for me. I heard it's delicious. Let me feed you. Hubby Rower will be leaving first. You must take care of yourself. Husband, I still remember the 3 lives flower you gave me that day. It was so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. Zhenro, Yan Chuan's wife in his previous life. Yan Chuan's eyes gradually moistened as he recalled the past. The scene gradually froze in his mind. Zhenro had fallen into his arms, blood flowing from her mouth. Rower, you're still alive? Otherwise, why would you appear before me? You're alive too? Yan Chuan lost control of his emotions as he looked at the pure and holy woman on the blue phoenix carriage. Ming! The green luan let out a long cry. Its body emitted a green light that shrouded the caravan behind it as it shot toward the Demon Wind mountain range. Rower! Yan Chuan roared in shock. Yan Chuan wished he could rush up and stop the blue phoenix carriage, but he was only in the essence realm. How could he stop it? Swish! The blue phoenix pulled the carriage and shot into the Demon Wind mountain range in an instant. Rower! Yan Chuan roared. Uncle Master, what's wrong? Zhu Jiansheng and the rest quickly supported Yan Chuan. Me? Yan Chuan came back to his senses and looked at the surprised Zhu Jiansheng and the rest. He ignored them and looked in the direction where the blue phoenix left with a trace of joy and bitterness on his face. He took a few deep breaths to calm himself down. Uncle Master, you called her Rower? Do you know her? Who is she? Zhu Jiansheng asked curiously. Yan Chuan shook his head. She's a very important person to me. Since you want to enter the Demon Wind mountain range, all right, let's go together. Really? Everyone was delighted. Yan Chuan looked into the distance with reluctance. He took a deep breath and said, however, we can't go in like this. We have to be fully prepared. Prepared? That's right. Follow my instructions. Chapter 274. Not bad. Follow my arrangements. Arrangements? Don't worry, as long as we go to the Demon Wind mountain range, we will listen to whatever martial uncle says. The 3 swordsmen were overjoyed. Let me think about it, Yan Chuan said. Yan Chuan stopped talking and returned to the flat mountain inn to drink wine alone. The 3,000 members of the embroidered uniform army slowly recovered from their injuries. Even though they had just recovered from a serious illness, they were all unusually excited. After all, many cultivators had rolled around in pain from the earlier clash of the zither sounds. Not only were they fine, but they had also destroyed this vast sound disaster. They were part of the ferocious tiger army formation. The embroidered uniform army looked at Yan Chuan with admiration. Zhu Jiansheng and the others looked at Yan Chuan in confusion. Yan Chuan looked at the ruins of the city and drank wine alone, as if he was thinking about something. After an hour, Yan Chuan looked at everyone with a determined expression. Zhu Jiansheng, 7 swordsmen. Yan Chuan called out. Here. The 8 immediately stepped forward and smiled. Are you really willing to follow my orders? Yan Chuan asked in a deep voice. Of course. The 3 swordsmen answered. Definitely. Zhu Jiansheng said excitedly. Good, I will arrange it for you now. Yan Chuan smiled. 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 swordsmen, I want you to go back to the Black Dragon Swamp where you killed the Flood Dragon. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. At the bottom of the Black Dragon Swamp, you said there is a big hole that leads to the Demon Wind mountain range, right? Yan Chuan asked. That's right. What are we going to do there? The 7 swordsmen asked in confusion. Follow that big hole until you reach the end. Find me the entrance to the Demonic Wind mountain range. Enter the Demonic Wind mountain range through that big hole and meet up with me. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Why? The 7 swordsmen were confused. Leave yourself a way out just in case. Yan Chuan said after some thought. Okay. The 4 swordsmen said in surprise. Everyone wanted to go to the Demon Wind mountain range, but they did not think too much about it. Martial uncle, the Demon Wind mountain range is huge. How are we supposed to find you? Asked the 6 swordsmen, puzzled. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice, Don't worry. This time, I'll enter the Demon Wind mountain range with a bang. When the time comes, I'll be able to find out what's going on. Everyone was puzzled. Just take care of yourself, Yan Chuan said. The 4 of them nodded. Zhu Jiansheng, Great Swordsman, Second Swordsman, and Third Swordsman. Yan Chuan looked at the 4 people. Martial uncle, what orders do you have? The 4 of them looked at Yan Chuan curiously. Judging from Yan Chuan's first deployment, Yan Chuan's thinking was much more appropriate than his. The 4 of you, go and spread the news now. Say that a heaven-class cultivation technique has appeared. I, Yan Chuan, saw it with my own eyes. It was obtained by the owner of a carriage pulled by a pair of green phoenixes. It's in the Demon Wind mountain range. They haven't left yet because they're looking for an even greater treasure, Yan Chuan said solemnly. A heaven-class cultivation technique? That lady in white just now? Zhu Jiansheng said in surprise. Everyone looked at Yan Chuan in surprise. Yan Chuan said snappily, Of course they didn't get it. Moreover, there might not be any heaven-class cultivation technique in the Demon Wind mountain range. Martial uncle, what do you mean by this? Zhu Jiansheng asked in confusion. I still want to see her, Yan Chuan said after taking a deep breath. Everyone was at a loss. Gu Yu Holy Sun spread the news that a heaven-class cultivation technique has appeared in the Demon Wind mountain range. Now, I'm just proving it for him. After all, not many cultivators know about this news. Soon, a large number of cultivators will gather here one after another. More and more cultivators will charge into the Demon Wind mountain range. The news that will make them lose their rationality is the heaven-class cultivation technique. Gu Yu Holy Sun said so, and now that I'm proving it for him, more people will charge in, Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Chapter 275. True experts might not care too much about the heaven-grade cultivation technique. Only those below the God realm would go crazy for it. Of course, those in the early stage of the emptiness realm are also greedy. As long as everyone goes to look for her, I will know where she went. Yan Chuan took a deep breath and said, That girl didn't get the heaven-grade cultivation technique. If she knows that Martial Uncle is the one who spread the news, she might come to confront Martial Uncle. Zhu Jiansheng followed this train of thought and said, Yes, I want to see her. Ask all the cultivators to help me find her. Ask her to come to me, Yan Chuan said with certainty. But, will the girl in white be in danger? The 3 swordsmen asked doubtfully. No, those 2 blue luans are at the peak of the God realm or the emptiness realm. If she wants to leave, those in the early stage of the emptiness realm can't stop her. She won't be in danger. Yan Chuan shook his head. If she won't be in danger, then Martial Uncle, you will be in danger. Not to mention the girl in white, even some cultivators who don't believe you will come to you and ask. If they fight, won't you? Zhu Jiansheng said worriedly. Yes, Martial Uncle. Are you going to give up your life for a girl? The three swordsmen said strangely. Don't worry. Yen Chuan smiled faintly. The 8 martial nephews felt strange. We will leave in 3 days. In 3 days, spread the news quickly. Say that I saw it with my own eyes. If anyone doesn't believe me, they can come to me at any time. Yen Chuan said in a deep voice. Oh. Everyone nodded blankly. Oh right, 3 days later? Martial uncle, will the girl in white leave in 3 days? No, she won't. ZZ said last time that she saw the holy son of the Dazhao Holy Land and the great demon a few months ago in Carefree City. Obviously, it was Gu Yu and Yao Tianshang. They couldn't find the thing inside for a few months. It's impossible for them to find it in 2 or 3 days. Since she rode the Blue Luan, she must be looking for the thing inside. It must still be inside. Go, spread the news. Yen Chuan said in a deep voice. Good. All right. Everyone said with complicated expressions. Obviously, Yen Chuan's plan had already exceeded their expectations. At the very least, no one could predict the future. Half a month later, in a huge canyon in the Demon Wind mountain range. Kill. Fire. Army destroyer. Kill, kill, kill. In the canyon, the sound of fighting soared into the sky. Hua Guang was leading the embroidered army to fight against a pack of demonic wolves. The 3,000 soldiers were fighting in a frenzy. Their bodies were covered in blood, but they were becoming more and more proficient in the art of slaughter. Above the canyon, behind Yen Chuan stood Lu Jin, Zhu Jiansheng, big, second and third swordsmen. Everyone looked at the canyon. Zhu Jiansheng had a strange expression on his face. Martial uncle, you brought 3,000 soldiers here. Will you be fine? Zhu Jiansheng asked worriedly. Yeah, when it's only you, martial uncle, you can think of a way to escape. But there are almost 3,000 people here. If we encounter the Demon King, we won't be able to escape. We will suffer heavy casualties. The third swordsman said with an ugly expression. Who said so? Don't we have people to protect us? Yen Chuan said with a smile. Zhu Jiansheng and the others turned around to look at the surrounding mountains. Sure enough, there were dozens of experts standing on the peak. They were all Qi realm experts. In the past 2 weeks, more and more people have been following me. Martial uncle, what should we do? Chapter 276. What are you worried about? Isn't it good for them to protect us in the Demon Wind mountain range? Yen Chuan smiled. Protect. Everyone looked confused. Yen Chuan ignored them. They continued to watch Hua Guang fight in the valley. At the peaks of the surrounding mountains there were indeed many small groups at this moment. 2 white-robed sword cultivators stood on the peak of a small mountain. Senior brother, is what Yen Chuan said true? Yen Chuan said that he made an agreement with the woman in white to get a heaven-class cultivation method and make a copy of it. However, the woman went back on her words, so he brought 3,000 subordinates into the Demon Wind mountain range to find the woman in white and make her fulfill her promise. The other person said, But why do I feel that it's fake? Fake? Is it fake? I think it's real. If it's fake, would he dare to bring an Essence State cultivator into the Demon Wind mountain range? There are 3,000 Essence State cultivators there. Wouldn't he be walking into a tiger's den? It must be real if he dares to risk his life to come in. But if it's real, we should go find the woman in white. It should be easy to find her with the Qingluan carriage. Find her? How? The Demon Wind mountain range is so big. Where can we find her? Just follow him. Follow Yen Chuan? Why? He doesn't have the item. Are you stupid? Yen Chuan must know how to find the woman in white since he dared to come in. We can find her if we follow him. Of course, the martial uncles will go find the woman in white. We just need to look after Yen Chuan. As long as he's fine, we can definitely find the woman in white. Yes, senior brother is so smart. And what? The woman in white is definitely not easy to deal with. We might not be able to get the heaven-class cultivation method from her. However, as long as Yen Chuan gets the cultivation method, we, get it from Yen Chuan? You're so wise, senior brother. Besides, don't you see that the others are not willing to leave? Oh! We're not the only ones who are smart. They can see it clearly as well. If you leave now, you'll be giving up on the heaven-tier cultivation technique. You want to leave? No, I'm not leaving. I'll follow. The surrounding Xiuzha all had their own ulterior motives. He looked at Yen Chuan, who was also protecting Yen Chuan. If there was a demon king, the group of experts would attack together. If there was no demon king, the embroidered uniform army would be practicing. For a time, Yen Chuan's team grew larger and larger. Half a month later, Yen Chuan and his group had gathered nearly 100 Qi realm experts. A group of people charged into the depths of the Demon Wind mountain range, and the number of people in the group was still increasing by the day. More and more, more and more. Even if they encountered God Realm beasts along the way, the God Realm beasts were all dumbfounded when they saw the mighty team and turned around to leave. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. Yen Chuan sat by a small lake. Boom! The aura emitted from his body caused ripples to appear on the surface of the lake. Third tier of the essence state? You're breaking through really fast, Zhu Jiansheng said with a smile. It's just along the way, Yen Chuan said with a smile. Zhu Jiansheng and the others were speechless. Alright, it was just along the way. Why couldn't his cultivation be just along the way? Back then, he was full and hungry. Your Majesty, Hua Guang said with a frown. What's wrong? Yen Chuan was puzzled. During this period, we've killed too many monsters along the way. If we encounter more monsters, we won't have enough time to eat them. It's a burden to bring them along, Hua Guang said with a frown. Hearing Hua Guang's words, Zhu Jiansheng wanted to kick him. The demonic beasts ate too much? Too much? When I was cultivating, I had no monsters to eat and had to think of other ways. Now you're complaining that it's too much. Let's eat the high-level monsters. First, we'll eat the Qi realm monsters we killed. Then, we'll eat the monsters at the peak of the essence state. Just bring 2 days' worth of food. Throw away the rest of the monsters. Yen Chuan said lightly. Yes. Hua Guang nodded. The 3 swordsmen and the wine sword Immortal turned their heads away to avoid looking at the ugly faces of the nouveau riche. There are many monsters in the Demon Wind mountain range, but you're too extravagant. Don't mock us like that. Chapter 277. In the Demonic Wind mountain range. As the news of the heaven-class cultivation technique spread, more and more sects rushed in. Some of them were aiming for the heaven-class cultivation technique. Similarly, there were also some smart experts who knew that the heaven-class cultivation technique was not as simple as it seemed. However, the heaven-class cultivation technique would be more valuable than that. As the sects entered, their senior and junior brothers passed on the information they had gathered. In a forest, 4 figures were having a discussion. 7th brother, how is it? The other 3 asked. They were the 4, 5, 6, and 7 swordsmen of the Day sect. They had arrived at the Demonic Wind mountain range from the underground cave of the Black Dragon Pool. When the 4 of them arrived, there were already 20,000 practitioners in the Demonic Wind mountain range. Therefore, the 4 of them soon found other practitioners and inquired. The 7 swordsmen looked at the 3 and frowned. We have news, but what? The 3 of them were puzzled. I know where Martial Uncle Yen Chuan is, but it might not be peaceful there, the 7 swordsmen said in a strange tone. More and more practitioners are entering the Demonic Wind mountain range. Strange things are happening one after another. Don't you know? There are several grand demons living in the Demonic Wind mountain range. That's right. Grand demons are all emptiness realm demonic beasts. They are extremely powerful. This is also the reason why many practitioners don't dare to enter the demonic wind mountain range. The first news is that these grand demons have all disappeared. There are traces of battle in their nest. It's a mess. The 7 swordsmen said in a strange tone. Emptiness realm grand demons have all disappeared? Were they killed? I'm not sure, but they should be dead. Otherwise, the demonic beasts in the demonic wind mountain range wouldn't be running away in fear. The 7 swordsmen guessed. Okay, continue. The second news is that Guyu Holy Sun's team is getting bigger. There are 8,000 of them searching the demonic wind mountain range for him. The 7 swordsmen said in a strange tone. 8,000? Searching for him? So many? How? The 3 of them were surprised. It's mainly because of the life art. I don't know what happened to them, but they still sent half demonic wind mountain range for Guyu Holy Sun. And life realm mountain range for Guyu Holy Sun. So many people? What are you looking for? Are you crazy? The 4 swordsmen asked in surprise. Next up is our flashy martial uncle. The 7 swordsmen said with a strange expression. Oh! I heard that martial uncle and his 3,000 imperial brocade guards have been escorting them all the way here. The 7 swordsmen said with a strange look on their faces. 500 chi state? Escort? Everyone was surprised. That's right. Guyu Holy Sun has gathered 8,000 people. Most of them are at the essence state. Those who are at the chi state and above may not be as many as martial uncle. Moreover, I heard that this team is still increasing. The 7 swordsmen said with a strange expression. Everyone was at a loss. Back then, Yan Chuan had said that it would be easy to find him and that he would have a spectacular life. The 4 of them didn't believe him at first, but now it seemed that the largest group in the Demon Wind Mountain range was Yan Chuan. What should we do? Are you going to look for martial uncle? 6 swordsmen asked curiously. Of course, we're going to find martial uncle. Martial uncle's side must be very interesting. The 5 swordsmen's eyes immediately lit up. Then what are we waiting for? Yes, 7 swordsmen, where is martial uncle? Follow me. At the peak of a mountain in the Demon Wind mountain range. Chapter 278. Guyu Holy Sun stood at the top of the mountain with a group of experts, looking down at the devilish wind mountains under the clouds. When Ruo, Wei Qin, and the others stood behind him. Several subordinates stood respectfully in front of Guyu. Holy Sun, this is the news we received, the subordinates said respectfully. Guyu Holy Sun took a deep breath and squinted his eyes. Yan Chuan. Not only Guyu Holy Sun, but the other experts were also shocked. Mr. Monroe, what do you think? Guyu Holy Sun asked calmly. Mr. Monroe smiled bitterly. Holy Sun, you used fame, power, grace, and affection to invite everyone to help you. Yan Chuan used benefits, that you can see but can't touch to tempt you. And he might be doing this to protect himself. Self-protection? Self-protection? 600 experts above the Qi realm to protect him when he's in the Essence realm? This Yan Chuan is really good, Guyu said with a complicated expression. Holy Sun, I think this Yan Chuan is despicable. Wei Qin, the leader of the Life League, said in a low voice. Guyu said calmly. When Ruo raised her eyebrows slightly. Holy Sun humbled himself and invited him to enter the devilish wind mountains, but he refused again and again. If he really didn't want to enter the devilish wind mountains as he said, it would have been fine. But he followed us in and didn't give the Holy Sun any face. Despicable. Also, he used the news about the Holy Sun's heaven-level technique to recruit free bodyguard. Despicable. Wei Qin said coldly. Guyu frowned slightly. Haha, Immortal Wei Qin, you're wrong. Holy Sun released the news about the heaven-level technique to convince everyone. Yan Chuan confirmed it to help the Holy Sun. What's there to be angry about? Mr. Monroe immediately laughed. Wei Qin frowned and looked at Mr. Monroe. Guyu Holy Sun took a deep breath and said, "If he wants to come in, let him come in. Forget it." "Yes." Wei Chan nodded and didn't say anything else. "Is there any news about Yao Tianshang?" Guyu Holy Sun asked solemnly. "No, but it seems like Yao Tianshang is not going to let this go. He might ruin the Holy Sun's plan." Mr. Monroe frowned. "Spoil my plans? Humph, he's not worthy." That group of adventurers opened the ancient seal, and all of them were cursed. They would die as soon as they stepped out of the Demon Wind mountain range. Most of them died and only brought back some information. There are still 2 people who are definitely somewhere in the Demon Wind mountain range. Once we find them, we'll know where the ancient seal is. Guyu Holy Sun said in a deep voice. "Holy Sun, don't worry. The Life League will definitely find them." Wei Qin said in a deep voice. "Spiritual Master Wei Qin, thank you for your hard work. After this battle, I will reward you on behalf of the Dazhao Holy Land." Guyu Holy Sun said calmly. "Thank you, Holy Sun. I'll go and ask my disciples to hurry up." Wei Qin smiled. "Okay." Guyu Holy Sun nodded. Wei Qin flew into the valley below. Guyu Holy Sun narrowed his eyes and smiled coldly as he watched Wei Qin fly down the mountain. Below, in a big tent, there were more than 20 people standing in front of Wei Qin. "All 20 of you are in the Qi state. I have a mission for you," Wei Qin said in a deep voice. "Please give us your orders, League Master." "Assassinate Yen Chuan. 20 Qi state cultivators are enough," Wei Qin said in a deep voice. "Senior brother, assassinate Yen Chuan? Why, now?" someone at the side asked in surprise. "He's Yen Tao's vile spawn, and he'll seek revenge on us sooner or later. Judging from this trip to the Demon Wind mountain range, this little bastard is quite capable, so we must eliminate him before he grows up. Otherwise, there'll be great trouble sooner or later," said Wei Chan in a low voice. "Yes." The person beside him nodded. "Don't worry, Alliance Master. Yen Chuan is just an elite state cultivator. 20 of us are more than enough to kill him, let alone assassinate him," the 20 Qi state cultivators said confidently. "Go." Wei Qin nodded. Swish. 20 Qi Jing warriors quickly rushed out of the tent. "Senior brother, aren't you making a mountain out of a molehill? 20 Qi Jing warriors against 1 Essence Jing warrior? Perhaps." Wei Qin also felt that he was being overly sensitive. At the mouth of a vast lake in the Demon Wind mountain range, on a small hill, Yen Chuan led Zhu Jiansheng and the others to look at the interior of the lake. Boom, boom, boom. Above the lake, the water was churning non-stop. Blood flowed from the bottom of the lake and crocodile carcasses floated to the surface. "The crocodiles in this lake have also suffered. I have seen your army, it is like an army of locusts. Wherever they go, not even a blade of grass will survive. Many monsters have suffered from this unexpected disaster." Zhu Jiansheng laughed. "Hu Guang and the others can kill monsters on land, they must be able to do the same in the sea. Otherwise, sooner or later they will be at a disadvantage. It is better to train them now." Yen Chuan laughed. "But they have just reached the essence state not long ago. They should not be used to breathing underwater through their pores. You are too fast." "Fast? They are already in the essence state, do they still need people to teach them? They must know everything." Yen Chuan shook his head. "But..." Zhu Jiansheng and the others were still at a loss. "But no more buts. Don't eat the crocodile feast tonight." Yen Chuan laughed. "Don't pretend I didn't say anything." Zhu Jiansheng immediately stopped talking. "Ha ha ha ha." The 3 swordsmen and the others laughed. Not far away, the cultivators who were standing on the mountains were in a dilemma. Yen Chuan's journey was like a training ground. They wanted to leave now, but they were not willing to. Look, there were already hundreds of Qi realm cultivators guarding the lake. If they left, wouldn't they give up in vain? It was like waiting in line. When you are halfway through the line, you know that there is a long line in front of you, but you are unwilling to give up because there is a long line behind you. The cultivators were from different sects, so they restricted each other. For a time, they were strangely harmonious. They only hoped that Yan Chuan would be on his way soon. Whoosh! Whoosh! 4 figures came from afar. They slowly floated up and looked around the lake. They were the 4, 5, 6, and 7 swordsmen. The 4 of them looked around with a surprised expression. 800? There are at least 800 Qi realm cultivators. Martial uncle is too troublesome. The 7 swordsmen were surprised. Yeah, there are 800 of them. It is easier to invite a god than to send them away. These people have been protecting martial uncle all this time. If they don't get what they want, they will end up like this. The 6 swordsmen said with a strange expression. 6, don't talk nonsense. Remember our mission. Master told us to protect martial uncle. The 4 swordsmen said in a deep voice. Protect? Are you kidding me? Does he want us to protect him? 800 Qi realm cultivators, they would be able to rampage wherever they went. Each of them can drown us with their spit. The 6 swordsmen said with a strange expression. Everyone! Boss, they saw us. Let's go. The 4 swordsmen said. Okay. Everyone nodded. Then they all flew towards Yan Chuan. Chapter 279. Xiao. The 4, 5, 6, and 7 swordsmen landed beside Yan Chuan. Martial uncle, big brother. The 4 swordsmen greeted. When the 4 arrived, the eyes of the 800 Qi Jing practitioners lit up. Did someone come to find Yan Chuan? This was different from before. It's good that you're here. Yan Chuan said calmly. Have you found the place? Don't tell me you don't remember the way back? The 3 swordsmen laughed. Of course we know. Just follow us. The 4 swordsmen laughed. As soon as the 4 swordsmen finished speaking, all the sounds of birds, beasts, insects, and fish disappeared. The 800 Qi Jing practitioners who were whispering to each other also became quiet. Everyone's spirits were suddenly shaken. The place? Where? The white-clothed lady with the blue phoenix pulling the carriage? Yan Chuan asked the 4 of them to find the place. We guessed right. If we follow Yan Chuan, we will definitely find the Tian level skill book. We didn't wait in vain. The surrounding practitioners started to discuss again. At the same time, their eyes were filled with hope. The 4 swordsmen were surprised by the sudden change in the environment. What? Did I say something wrong? The 4 swordsmen were confused. You didn't say anything wrong. Yan Chuan laughed. Pung! Above the lake, a pillar of water shot out. A 10-meter-long azure crocodile soared into the sky. However, a spear pierced through its abdomen. The one who came out of the water after that was the slightly injured Huguang. Pung! The crocodile was thrown to the shore. Huguang was the first to jump onto the shore. Pung! 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 A large number of crocodiles jumped out of the water. The Genie army brought their trophies and rushed out. In the blink of an eye, there were 500 crocodile corpses on the shore. King, the mission is complete. Huguang said excitedly. Set up camp and eat. Yan Chuan nodded. Yes. The 3,000 embroidered uniform army soldiers quickly got busy. At this moment, the faces of the surrounding 800 cultivators stiffened. Stop to eat and rest again? Don't you know where the woman in white is? Go quickly. What would happen if she left? Although the Xiozhi were anxious, there was nothing they could do. After all, Yan Chuan still needed to personally ask for the heaven-grade cultivation method. He could only wait. After setting up camp and cooking delicious food, Yan Chuan started to eat in the headquarters tent. Accompanying them were Huguang, Lu Jin, Zhu Jiansheng, and the 7 swordsmen. Uncle, there are already more than 800 Qi Jing warriors, aren't you worried at all? 6 swordsmen asked curiously. What are you worried about? Yan Chuan smiled. You're worried that they'll harm you? Six Swordsmen was confused. Will it? Why not? The six swordsmen were puzzled. Because they are not a single entity, I am safer. Yan Chuan laughed. Mutual restraint? The three swordsmen asked curiously. Yes. Moreover, if there is any danger, these 800 Qi Jing warriors will come to your aid. Hu Guang also laughed. Xiao. Just as everyone was talking, a stone suddenly shot into the tent. Dong. The stone hit Yan Chuan's table. Xing. Xing. The group of swordsmen pulled out their swords and looked at the stone in surprise. Yan Chuan looked at the stone and sneered. Someone is trying to assassinate me? Who? Hu Guang immediately stood up. Chapter 280. Yan Chuan nodded. Hu Guang acted as if nothing had happened and walked out of the tent with the wine. Outside the tent there were many soldiers eating crocodiles. Brothers, the king asked me to give you a toast. Now that we are outside, there is no wine, so we will use meat as a substitute. Ha! Hu Guang laughed. Sir! Everyone stood up. Hu Guang held the wine cup in one hand and made a strange gesture with the other. The gesture was normal, but all the soldiers' pupils shrank. Long live the king! All the soldiers raised the meat and congratulated. While eating the meat, the soldiers chatted and divided into different groups. Inside the tent. Assassination? Martial uncle, how did you know? Zhujiansheng was surprised. This is a reminder from one of the 800 practitioners. Yan Chuan smiled as he looked at the pebbles on the table. Ah? Who? Zhujiansheng was curious. Who? How would I know? They helped me find out. We just need to be more careful. Yan Chuan laughed. Assassination? What should we do? The three swordsmen were worried. What are you worried about? Hu Guang is already there. Don't worry about them, let's continue eating. Yan Chuan laughed. Everyone was confused. Martial uncle is too carefree. Even if someone tries to assassinate him, he won't care? While everyone was eating, Hu Guang raised his cup and walked around the 3,000 soldiers. Some of the soldiers disappeared without them noticing. On a hill not far from the main tent, 20 Qi Jing assassins sent by Wei Chan were all staring at the main tent. Boss, I saw it. Yan Chuan is in the tent. One of them said coldly. There are 800 Qi Jing cultivators outside. There are 8 Days Sex Qi Jing cultivators in the tent. The others are not a problem. The leader said. 8 Days Sex Qi Jing cultivators are not a problem. The main problem is that there are 800 Qi Jing cultivators outside. They are all waiting for Yan Chuan to lead the way. If we assassinate him, won't they be angry? Angry? Whatever, we must complete the mission given by the alliance leader. We must rush into the tent. You 8 block the 8 Days Sex Qi Jing cultivators. The 12 of us will attack at the same time and kill Yan Chuan. Once Yan Chuan is dead, we will retreat. It will be too late to save the 800 cultivators. The leader said. Boss, we will escape after killing Yan Chuan. No one will be able to stop us. Well, since it's confirmed, let's begin immediately. I'll count to 3 and we'll move out together. Yes. Whoosh! 20 black figures instantly shot towards the central tent like 20 sharp arrows. They were so fast that the countless cultivators in the surroundings could not react in time. The 20 assassins arrived in front of the tent and were about to enter. Bang! Suddenly, 500 rays of light shot towards them. 500 shooting sun arrows were aimed at the 20 assassins. The 20 assassins' faces changed. Bang! The assassins spat out their chi walls one after another, and a powerful aura spread out. Boom! 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 The shooting sun arrows were blocked by the air wall, but the power of the 500 shooting sun arrows was enormous. When they hit the air wall, the speed of the assassins suddenly slowed. Some of the assassins were even knocked back by the force of the shooting sun arrows. Not good. The assassin leader's face changed. Shoot. Bang. Chapter 281. With a clear target, the second volley of 2,000 shooting sun arrows exploded out. 2,000 streams of light, like a meteor shower, fiercely crashed into the air wall of the 20 assassins. Rumble. It was equivalent to a Qi Jing realm cultivator facing 100 shooting sun arrows. Although the power of a Qi Jing realm cultivator was not as strong as a Qi Jing realm cultivator, there were many of them. With the combined power of 100 shooting sun arrows, the power of the shooting sun arrows was comparable to a Qi Jing realm cultivator. The air wall around the 20 assassins shook violently, almost collapsing completely. We've been discovered. Not good. Someone cried out. Let's go. You want to leave? Shoot. Huoguang shouted again. Pung. This time there were even more arrows. 3,000 arrows burst out almost at the same time. There were even more arrows, and they were even more ferocious than before. 3,000 rays of golden light shot out, bringing with them endless despair. They closed in on the 20 assassins. Originally, they looked down on the essence realm, but now boom! The air wall exploded from the impact, and the remaining force of the rain of arrows unscrupulously struck the crowd of cultivators. Bang! Bang! The air wall exploded, and all the Xiuzhou were heavily injured. Their long swords struck the rain of arrows, but there were too many arrows. How could he block all 3,000 arrows at once? The assassins were hit by the arrows and fell to the ground. Of the 20 assassins, 5 were dead, and the remaining 15 were covered in arrows. They were all at a loss as they looked at the group of elite realm cultivators in disbelief. Impossible, impossible, the leader said in disbelief. The 20 of them were assassins, yet they were all wiped out in the blink of an eye? I'm in the Qi realm, but they're in the Qi realm. Those guys are only in the essence realm. At this time, no one would sympathize with them. The 800 Qi Jing cultivators who had regained their senses were also glaring at the assassins. It was already merciful that they didn't teach them a lesson. Why would they pity them? At the same time, the 800 Qi realm cultivators were also looking at Huoguang and the others in surprise. These days, the Genie army had only killed 2 or 3 Qi realm beasts, so the cultivators didn't think much of it. At this moment, he finally realized the true power of the Imperial Secret Army. 20 Qi state warriors? Take him down in an instant? Pierce his shoulder blades and tie him up? Huoguang shouted. Yes. The soldiers replied. In the blink of an eye, 15 Qi Jing cultivators were tied up and brought to the main tent. In the central tent, Yan Chuan was still drinking and eating. Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen looked at the group of Qi Jing warriors kneeling on the ground in confusion. Boss, try slapping me. The 3 swordsmen felt like he was dreaming. Slap. The great swordsman slapped the 3rd swordsman's face. Ouch, you really hit me. The 3 swordsmen's face immediately swelled up. Looking at his palm, the great swordsman said in a deep voice, It hurts quite a bit. Looks like it's not a dream. Boss, I'll fight you to the death. The 3 swordsmen said with grief and indignation. Zhu Jiansheng looked at Huoguang in surprise. They are from the Life League. They are all in the Qi state. Are these Qi Jing warriors still the same group of mortals that he met a year ago? With 5 dead, the 15 Qi Jing warriors kneeled in front of Yan Chuan like prisoners. Yan Chuan, you better let me go now. Otherwise, the Life League will kill you like how we killed your father. One of the Qi Jing assassins said viciously. What did you say? Yan Chuan put down a piece of meat and said coldly. I said like how we killed your father. The assassin said again. Shoo! A long spear came from behind and pierced through his heart. It was Huoguang who killed him with a single spear strike. The 14 assassins who were planning to scare Yan Chuan suddenly changed their expressions. These people are crazy. Chapter 282. After one of the assassins was killed by Hu Guang, the rest of the assassins finally understood their predicament. This group of people did not care about their background. If they were dissatisfied, they would kill them. Tell me, what is the Life Alliance searching for in the Demon Wind mountain range? Yan Chuan asked calmly. The assassins gritted their teeth and refused to speak. You still refuse to speak? Yan Chuan sneered. Humph, we'll die if we speak and we'll die if we don't. The winner takes all. If you want to kill us, just kill us, an assassin said stubbornly. Humph. The assassins snorted. Did I say I'm going to kill you? Yan Chuan asked. Everyone looked at Yan Chuan. Lu Jin, take them away and interrogate them in batches. Keep those who answer truthfully. Kill those who lie. Yan Chuan said. Yes. Lu Jin replied. Are you serious? You won't kill us if we tell you the truth? An assassin suddenly asked hopefully. Apparently, the assassins were no longer so stubborn. Take them away. Lu Jin waved her hand. The assassins were taken out of the tent. Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen looked at this scene blankly. Martial uncle, you're amazing, the 3 swordsmen said in admiration. Don't spoil their mood during the meal. Continue eating. Yan Chuan said with a smile. Okay. Yan Chuan continued eating. When he was done, he drank a cup of tea. 2 hours had passed. Lu Jin entered the tent again. King, they've confessed. These people are really afraid of death. They all confessed. Moreover, their testimonies are the same. It should be true. Lu Jin said with a smile. Oh? Tell me about it. They were sent by Wei Chan, the leader of the Life League. He felt threatened by King and wanted to take action in advance. Lu Jin said in a deep voice. Feel threatened? Yan Chuan narrowed his eyes. That's right. This Wei Qing clearly wants to kill His Majesty. Lu Jin said in a low voice. Got it. Go on. Yan Chuan took a sip of tea. Gu Yu Holy Sun's 8,000 men are actually searching for 2 people in the Devilish Wind mountain range. Lu Jin said. Oh! These are the portraits we found on one of the assassins. Lu Jin handed over 2 portraits. In the portrait there were 2 ordinary-looking men. Both of them had sideburns and looked very ordinary. Did you find out why you're looking for these 2? Yan Chuan asked curiously. They don't know either. Lu Jin shook her head. At this time, Zhu Jiansheng and the others also looked at the portrait. 6th Martial Uncle? Zhu Jiansheng's expression changed. Do you know him? Yan Chuan asked doubtfully. Senior brother, are you saying that this is 6th Martial Uncle? How is that possible? 6th Martial Uncle is so handsome. He doesn't have a beard. The 3 swordsmen also said in disbelief. Zhu Jiansheng's eyes were filled with uncertainty. After thinking for a while, he looked at Yan Chuan and said, I'm sure that one of the portraits is 6th Martial Uncle because I saw him with my own eyes not long ago. As for the other one, if I'm not wrong, it should be 3rd Martial Uncle. The 7 swordsmen were confused. Go on. Yan Chuan said in a low voice. Not long after the 3,000 men of Ritian Peak underwent the tribulation at the same time, an alarm bell rang in the sect. Do you still remember? Zhu Jiansheng said in a low voice. That's right. At that time, the sect leader was handing over my father's relics to me. Before I could open it, the bell rang and the sect leader left. He came back to see me the next day and said that 2 first-generation disciples went to Demon Wind mountain range together. One died and the other returned with injuries. Yan Chuan nodded. The one who died was 6th Martial Uncle. At that time, I heard the bell and went over. I saw it with my own eyes. 6th Martial Uncle looked like this in the portrait. They disguised themselves so that no one could recognize them. But I've seen sixth martial uncle dressed like this before, Zhu Jiansheng said in a low voice. Chapter 283. Is it really sixth martial uncle? The three swordsmen asked in surprise. Sixth martial uncle died not long after he came back. Before he died, he talked with the sect leader for a while. The sect leader dismissed everyone, but he let us see him one last time before he died. At that time, sixth martial uncle died extremely miserably, his entire body releasing bloody blisters, more and more of them popping out, as if there was a flame burning him to death. Sect master said that it was a curse. Zhu Jiansheng's expression became ugly. Ah? Sixth martial uncle is really dead? The three swordsmen asked in surprise. But the sect leader said that one of them died and the other came back injured. Yan Chuan said in a low voice. No, only sixth uncle master and third uncle master are still in Demon Wind Mountain Range, but the sect master has instructed us to tell the same story to the public. We have to say that the two of them have returned together, and that one is dead and the other is injured. Gu Yu Holy Son and the others are still looking for third martial uncle? Everyone's face fell. King, there's another piece of news. The person in the painting is in their encirclement. Someone has found the person in the painting, but he's good at hiding, so they couldn't find him immediately. But the place is surrounded by experts, so it's only a matter of time before they find him. Lu Jin said in a low voice. Then third martial uncle is in danger? Everyone's face changed. Martial uncle, what should we do now? Zhu Jiansheng looked at Yan Chuan anxiously. Yan Chuan frowned and thought for a while. Zhu Jiansheng and the seven swordsmen looked at Yan Chuan expectantly. After a while, Yan Chuan said with determination in his eyes, Hua Guang, tell the soldiers to eat and rest for 4 hours. We'll set off in 4 hours. Yes. Hua Guang answered. Thank you, martial uncle. The 8 people said gratefully. Since he joined the Day sect, I won't ignore his safety. The same goes for all of you. We'll set off in 4 hours. Adjust yourselves well. Yan Chuan said in a low voice. Yes. The 8 of them replied. 4 hours later, Yan Chuan's army escorted 14 assassins and quickly advanced through the forest. The 800 Qi realm warriors were surprised when they saw the army speed up. However, they were happy that Yan Chuan had finally learned his lesson. With 14 assassins leading the way, the journey was rather smooth. The news of the assassins' capture had also reached Gu Yu Holy Son 4 hours ago. On the same mountain peak, several subordinates stood respectfully in front of Gu Yu Holy Son. He sat on a throne and listened to his subordinates report. 20 Qi state cultivators, they should be from the Life League. The subordinate said respectfully. People from the Life League? So it was Wei Qin who gave the order to assassinate Yan Chuan? 20 Qi realm cultivators trying to kill an elite realm cultivator, yet they were all wiped out? Ha, the Life League is indeed full of trash. One of Gu Yu Holy Son's subordinates said disdainfully. The Holy Son is just using Wei Qin. Why do you care? Mr. Monroe said with a smile. You may leave. Gu Yu Holy Son said calmly. Yes. The messenger left immediately. However, as soon as the messenger left, another person ran over. Holy Son, I found him. I found him. The messenger said excitedly. Phew. Holy Son stood up immediately. Holy Son, I found the person in the portrait. The leader of the Life League, Wei Qin, is leading his men to. The messenger said excitedly. Lead the way. Gu Yu Holy Son said immediately. Yes. Yan Chuan's army hurried along the way. In just one day, they entered Gu Yu Holy Son's search area. Zhu Jiansheng captured an elite realm cultivator. My king, that person confessed. They found the demon ox's nest in the north. After the demon ox disappeared, no one knew where it went. However, not long ago, someone found the leader and the third uncle. Now, almost all the masters that Guyu Holy Sun brought are gathered there. All the masters above the Qi realm have gone there, and the elite realm masters are still rushing there. Lu Jin said respectfully. The demon ox's nest? Let's go quickly. Yen Chuan said in a low voice. Yes. Nearly 3,000 Jin-E soldiers and more than 800 Qi realm masters rushed towards the demon ox's nest. The demon ox's nest. It was a huge valley. There used to be a large number of palaces, but now it was a pile of ruins. Several mountains around it had collapsed, indicating that there used to be a fierce battle here. Guyu Holy Sun stood on a high platform, surrounded by many of his subordinates. Mr. Monroe stood behind Guyu Holy Sun. More and more masters gathered around the valley, but most of them were from the Life League. At the bottom of the valley, two figures were supporting each other. The leader of Dae's sect, Feng Tairan. The other was Zhu Jiansheng's third uncle. However, the beard on his face had disappeared. Feng Tairan and third uncle's faces were black. It was obvious that they had been poisoned. Feng Tairan's mouth was bleeding profusely. He looked coldly at the five figures in front of Guyu Holy Sun. The leader of the five figures was the leader of the Life League, Wei Qian. Wei Qian reported to Guyu Holy Sun with an ugly expression. Holy Sun, when we heard the news, we were afraid that the two of them would run away. We didn't have time to report it, so we came here first. Wei Qian said with an ugly expression. Is that so? Guyu Holy Sun said in a low voice. It's true. I wouldn't dare to lie to the Holy Sun. It was an emergency. Wei Qian defended himself again. Mr. Monroe said in a low voice, Emergency? The five of you came here together? There were only two of them. Did the five of you need to come together? Why didn't you leave someone to report to the Holy Sun first? If we didn't get the news, we would still be in the dark. When Ruah, don't slander us. It was an emergency. We only wanted to prevent the two of them from running away. What other thoughts did we have? Along the way, the Life League sent half of our men to help the Holy Sun. The five of us, the immortal state warriors of the Life League, were all sent out. When Ruah, Wei Qian scolded. That's enough. Guyu Holy Sun said in a low voice. Guyu Holy Sun said. Everyone stopped talking. Guyu ignored them and looked at the two people who were supporting each other in the valley. Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu of the Dae sect? Guyu Holy Sun said lightly. Greetings, Guyu Holy Sun. The two of them said in despair. Are you poisoned? Guyu Holy Sun said lightly. Black venom of the Life League. Duan Sanshu looked at Wei Qian with hatred. I don't care what kind of poison you are poisoned with. Do you know what I want? Guyu Holy Sun looked down at the two of them. Holy Sun, if you want to go to that place again, I can give you the map. However, Guyu Holy Sun, please let us go. Duan Sanshu begged. You have no right to negotiate with me. Tell me, where is the seal? Guyu Holy Sun said in a low voice. Chapter 284. Holy Sun, if you want to go to that place again, I can give you the map. However, Guyu Holy Sun, please let us go. Duan Sanshu pleaded. You are not qualified to negotiate with me. Tell me, where is the seal? Guyu Holy Sun asked in a deep voice. Ha 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 ha. Cough cough. Ha 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 ha. Feng Tairan laughed bitterly as he coughed up blood. Terms? Ha ha. Guyu Holy Sun, do you know what happened to the nest of the demonic bull great demon? Feng Tairan sneered. Guyu Holy Sun looked at Feng Tairan in confusion. The demonic bull great demon is an emptiness realm great demon. It suddenly disappeared because it was subdued a month ago. Not only the demonic bull great demon, all the emptiness realm great demons in the demonic wind mountain range disappeared because they were subdued. Feng Tairan sneered. Subdued? The surrounding cultivators were surprised. Great demons were emptiness realm great demons. Who could subdue them? Not just one, but a group. The demonic beasts in the demonic wind mountain range disappeared one after another. Were they subdued? Oh? Subdued? Who? Guyu Holy Sun asked indifferently. Cough cough. Ha ha. It's your enemy Yao Tianshang. Feng Tairan sneered weakly. Yao Tianshang. Guyu Holy Sun's pupils shrank. You must have found out why the demonic beasts in the demonic wind mountain range fled. It's because Duan Sanshu and his team broke a seal. The aura emitted from the seal frightened the demonic beasts. The aura that frightened the demonic beasts was an aura that could destroy the world. Humans didn't feel anything, but the demonic beasts felt endless death. Therefore they fled. Feng Tairan said coldly as he coughed up blood. That aura only appeared for an instant, but it struck deep into the souls of the thousands of demonic beasts. The thousands of demonic beasts don't know where it came from, but they have a rough idea of where it came from. Yao Tianshang has subdued a group of great demons. Based on their descriptions, we should be able to find the location of the seal very quickly. Feng Tairan said coldly. Yao Tianshang's team is also growing stronger. Furthermore, they are all emptiness realm expert. The gap between the two of you is gradually narrowing. Yao Tianshang should be able to find the seal very soon. We'll find it soon. Feng Tairan said solemnly. Guyu Holy Sun narrowed his eyes. We're not talking about conditions. We just want a way out. If you don't even give us a way out, why should we tell you where we are? Torture us? Extorting a confession through torture? Haha, bring it on. Duan Sanshu and I are not afraid of this. The longer we wait, the higher the chances of Yao Tianshang obtaining the treasures within the seal. Feng Tairan said as he coughed up blood. Holy Sun, this old man is very stubborn. Let me pry open his mouth. Wei Chan said in a low voice. Holy Sun, let me do it. My soul-tearing torture can make him suffer so much that he'll wish he was dead. Holy Sun, let me do it. I have experience in this area. The subordinates all asked for permission. Mr. Monroe frowned slightly. He took a step forward and said, Holy Sun, I think we should forget about it. The Day sect cannot run away. Feng Tairan doesn't dare to tell you the location of the fake seal. Why don't you let them go after they tell you the location? Guyu Holy Sun's face darkened as he looked at Mr. Monroe. Chapter 285. Holy Sun, this is a win-win situation. Mr. Monroe said again. I don't like being threatened. Guyu Holy Sun said in a low voice. Guyu Holy Sun's words left Mr. Monroe speechless. He smiled bitterly, nodded, and left. Here, Guyu Holy Sun was the most powerful. No one dared to oppose him, regardless of strength or status. Wei Qing immediately stepped forward and said, Holy Sun, among my 4 junior brothers, Wei Jia and Wei Yi cultivate the Xian Ming Duo Qi, which can corrode one's soul. Once one is contaminated by the Xian Ming Duo Qi, one will be in agony. No one can withstand this torture. Let them come. Among the 4 people behind Wei Qin, 2 green-faced men walked out respectfully. Looking at the 2 of them, Guyu Holy Sun nodded lightly. Yan Chuan's army traveled across mountains and rivers, quickly heading towards the nest of the demon bull Great Demon. In the distance, they saw a large number of cultivators gathered on a mountain peak, looking at a large canyon. Ah! Ah! In the distant canyon, 2 heart-wrenching screams could be heard. It's the sect master's voice. Zhu Jiansheng's expression changed. Third martial uncle, it's third martial uncle's voice. The 3 swordsmen's expression changed. Hurry, hurry! Yan Chuan urged again. Rumble! The group of cultivators quickly rushed towards the canyon not far away. In the canyon, Guyu Holy Sun led everyone to look at the canyon below. Below, Wei Jia and Wei Yi spat out waves of green qi from their palms, enveloping the black-faced Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu. As the green qi enveloped the two of them, a layer of frost formed on their bodies, causing them to tremble continuously. Speak quickly, Wei Jia said coldly. Ah! Ha ha ah! The two of them cried out in pain and laughed, refusing to speak. Speak quickly, Wei Yi also Jiaohu said. The surrounding experts all frowned as they looked at the two of them. The two of them were too stubborn. He was already in such a miserable state, but he still refused to say anything. Guyu Holy Sun's face darkened. If you still don't speak, I'll freeze and shatter your divine soul, Wei Jia said coldly. However, Duan Sanshu gritted his teeth. Even though he was screaming miserably, he continued to look coldly at Wei Jia, refusing to say anything. You're courting death. Wei Jia's face turned cold, and his palms suddenly emitted bursts of purple light, as if they were about to freeze and shatter Duan Sanshu's spirit soul. Stop! Boom, 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 boom! In an instant, 100 sword lights shot out, heading straight for Wei Jia and Wei Yi. While the two of them were distracted, a large amount of sword light had already arrived. The two of them snorted coldly and struck out with their palms. Rumble! The 100 sword lights were shattered with a loud bang. Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen attacked at the same time, but they were easily neutralized by the two. However, this was already enough. At least the two of them could no longer destroy Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu. Bang! Chapter 286. Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu fell to the ground. Both of them were trembling. Rumble! Yan Chuan's army slowly entered the valley. Yan Chuan was the one who shouted, "Stop! Sect Master, how are you? Third Martial Uncle, are you okay?" Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen helped the 2 injured men to their feet. Wei Jia and Wei Yi did not take Yan Chuan seriously at first, but gradually Yan Chuan's followers increased, and some of them were recognized by the two of them. They came from various sects, and there were about 800 overlords standing not far behind Yan Chuan. 800 Qi state cultivators? Wei Jia and Wei Yi's expression changed. The overlords around the valley also frowned as they looked at the huge group of people. Guyu Holy Sun squinted his eyes and stared at Yan Chuan. "Yan Chuan, how dare you come here?" Wei Yi shouted. Yan Chuan looked at Wei Yi coldly and then turned to Guyu Holy Sun. "Guyu Holy Sun, we meet again. I hope I didn't disturb your mood," Yan Chuan said calmly. "Mood? Humph." Guyu Holy Sun snorted. Mr. Monroe looked at them and shouted. Yan Chuan, Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu knew that the Holy Sun was looking for a place, but they did not say anything. They even threatened the Holy Sun. "Hurry up and ask them to tell us the place so that the Holy Sun can be lenient." Yan Chuan looked at Feng Tairan. He immediately understood everything. "Yan Chuan, take your men and leave," Guyu Holy Sun said. "Did you hear that? The Holy Sun asked you to scram," Wei Yi shouted. Yan Chuan smiled faintly and didn't back away. Instead, he said, "Guyu Holy Sun didn't make things difficult for me because I helped Guyu Holy Sun destroy Yao Tianshang's sound disaster that day in Liangjing, right?" Guyu Holy Sun's eyes turned cold. He suddenly felt that Yan Chuan did not know what was good for him. Yan Chuan, the Holy Sun has already given you the divine dew rain that day. The Holy Sun doesn't owe you anything. If you don't scram, don't blame us for being impolite," Wei Qing shouted. "Shut up!" Yan Chuan glared at him. You. Wei Qing was scolded by Yan Chuan in front of thousands of cultivators. His face was filled with shame and anger. Guyu Holy Sun's victory against Yao Tianshang is only worth a bottle of divine dew rain? Do you dare to say that Gu Yu Holy Sun's victory is only worth a bottle of divine dew rain? Say it again in front of hundreds of cultivators. Yan Chuan shouted. Yan Chuan shouted again, and Wei Qin's face changed. How could the Holy Sun's victory be only worth a bottle of divine dew rain? Who would dare to say that? Moreover, there were 800 cultivators behind Yan Chuan and more than 100 sections. Today's matter couldn't be concealed. It would definitely spread. If he dared to say it, Gu Yu Holy Sun would be the first to chop him in half. You dare! Wei Qin was sweating profusely. You are the one who is bold. Gu Yu Holy Sun is talking to me. Who are you to interrupt? Can you decide everything on behalf of Gu Yu Holy Sun? Or did Gu Yu Holy Sun authorize you to be the spokesperson? Yan Chuan shouted. I didn't. Holy Sun, I just… Wei Qin immediately looked at Gu Yu Holy Sun, wanting to defend himself. Gu Yu Holy Sun wasn't stupid. He knew that Yan Chuan was blocking Wei Qin's mouth. He didn't care about Wei Qin. Of course, if Wei Qin didn't dare to speak, the others wouldn't ask for a rebuke. Suddenly, it became a clash between Yan Chuan and Gu Yu Holy Sun. The 800 cultivators who came with Yan Chuan all looked at Yan Chuan in shock. They didn't expect Yan Chuan to be so bold. Aren't you afraid of death? Gu Yu Holy Sun said coldly. Not long ago, I helped Gu Yu Holy Sun. A just cause enjoys abundant support, an unjust cause finds little support. Gu Yu Holy Sun is a righteous person. Naturally, you won't make things difficult for someone who helped you just because of a whim. I didn't offend you, Yan Chuan said with a smile. A just cause enjoys abundant support, an unjust cause finds little support. Yan Chuan's meaning was clear. If you make things difficult for me, you will lose your morals. Moreover, you lost your morals in front of the people of the 100 sects, in front of the people of the world. An ungrateful person. Even if he was still the Holy Sun, he had lost the most important thing. Image, prestige, respect. Behind Gu Yu Holy Sun, Mr. Monroe took a deep breath. He looked at Yan Chuan in shock. This Yan Chuan was so amazing. With just a few words, he forced Gu Yu Holy Sun into a corner? I naturally won't make things difficult for you, but you are in my way, Gu Yu Holy Sun said coldly. Chapter 287. Of course, I won't make things difficult for you. But you're in my way, Gu Yu Holy Sun said coldly. After Gu Yu Holy Sun finished speaking, Yan Chuan let out a sigh of relief. Just now, he was asking a tiger for its skin. After all, he was too weak and did not have the qualifications to talk to him. However, this time, he succeeded. At least Gu Yu Holy Sun would not dare to attack him in front of everyone. Gu Yu Holy Sun, Yan Chuan does not dare to take credit for the help you provided in Liangjing. These two people are members of the Day sect. They owe you an answer. I'll let them give you an answer and use the favor you provided in Liangjing in exchange for Gu Yu Holy Sun's forgiveness. Let's forget about today's matter, okay? Yan Chuan said again. Gu Yu Holy Sun narrowed his eyes, and a murderous aura overflowed. In Gu Yu's eyes, forgiving Yan Chuan's offense was already a great favor. Yan Chuan actually dared to negotiate with him? Bastard you! Wei Chuan cursed again. Halfway through, he saw Yan Chuan's cold gaze and stopped. He looked at Gu Yu Holy Sun hopefully. Seeing that Gu Yu Holy Sun was not paying attention to him, he let out a sigh of relief and stopped talking. He only looked at Yan Chuan with a venomous gaze. You want me to let them go? Gu Yu Holy Sun said coldly. Obviously, Gu Yu Holy Sun was still unwilling. Yan Chuan turned to look at Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu. The two of you, let me make the decision for you. What do you think? Yan Chuan looked at the two of them and said. Duan Sanshu looked at Yan Chuan curiously. Feng Tairan revealed a gratified smile. All right, I'll leave it to you, Feng Tairan said. N. Duan San Shu nodded. The two of them nodded. Yen Chuan's expression immediately turned solemn. Hua Guang, kill Feng Tairan and Duan San Shu for me. Yen Chuan pointed at Feng Tairan and Duan San Shu and shouted. What? Hua Guang was stunned. Not only was Hua Guang dumbfounded, but Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen were also dumbfounded. The surrounding cultivators and countless experts were all dumbfounded. Just a moment ago, he was speaking up for Feng Tairan and Duan San Shu, and in the blink of an eye, he was going to kill them? You! Duan San Shu glared at him. Full authority to make decisions? Did that mean that he would kill him? Duan San Shu was so angry that he immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Only Feng Tairan seemed to have understood. Ha 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 ha, kill them, kill them. It's better to die than to be tortured like this. Ha 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 ha. Feng Tairan laughed freely. Martial uncle, what are you doing? You can't kill the sect master. Zhu Jiansheng suddenly exclaimed. Xing! Xing! The 7 swordsmen also stood in front of Feng Tairan and Duan San Shu, looking at Yen Chuan with vigilance. They have agreed to let me handle them. You guys get out of the way. Hua Guang, kill them! Yen Chuan shouted. Zhu Jiansheng, 7 swordsmen, listened to Yen Chuan. Feng Tairan ordered. Huh! Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen were at a loss. The experts of the 100 sects all looked at Yen Chuan in surprise. Even Gu Yu Holy Sun's face changed slightly. Kill 2 people? Was this Yen Chuan crazy? Hua Guang stepped forward with his spear. Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen were at a loss. Should they stop him? Crazy? Yen Chuan wanted to kill the sect master, but the sect master didn't let them save him and let him kill him? Crazy, are you all crazy or am I crazy? Zhu Jiansheng and the 7 swordsmen's minds were in chaos. Stop! Gu Yu Holy Sun shouted angrily. Turning his head, Yen Chuan looked at Gu Yu Holy Sun again. These 2 people are the scum of my day sect. At this moment, they have confessed to me and are ready to let me handle them. I want to kill them on the spot. Holy Sun, do you still want to plead for them? Yen Chuan stared at Gu Yu Holy Sun and said word by word. Chapter 288. The long spear had already reached their chests. As long as Yen Chuan gave the order again, Feng Tairan and Duan San Shu would immediately be beheaded. Gu Yu Holy Sun stared at Yen Chuan with a gloomy face. If it weren't for the people of 100 sects watching him, he would have reached out and pinched Yen Chuan to death. This was no longer a threat, but a coercion. Kill? If Yen Chuan killed the 2 of them, he would never know where the seal was, and Yao Tianshang would get it first. Gu Yu Holy Sun? Yen Chuan called out doubtfully again. Yen Chuan's doubts were like a sharp sword that had chosen Gu Yu Holy Sun's heart, forcing Gu Yu Holy Sun to do something. Countless practitioners around gradually understood Yen Chuan's meaning. Put death in a desperate situation and fight to live. Yen Chuan was using a roundabout method to save Feng Tairan and Duan San Shu. Well, according to what you said before, your past kindness is written off. Tell me the place I want. Gu Yu Holy Sun said coldly. This time, Gu Yu Holy Sun's heart was full of depression, as if he was forced to retreat by Yen Chuan in a confrontation with Yen Chuan. The surrounding cultivators also revealed surprised expressions. They didn't expect Gu Yu Holy Sun to actually let go. At this time, he really let go? Mr. Monroe looked at Yen Chuan in amazement. Although it was a short exchange, Yen Chuan's way of speaking was like a battle. First, he used kindness to build an immortal fortress for himself, then he kept probing and attacking, slowly forcing Gu Yu Holy Sun into a corner. Finally, he attacked head-on, using his desire to force Gu Yu Holy Sun to bow. Although everyone had the same feeling, they didn't think it through as thoroughly as Mr. Monroe. In a short time, Yen Chuan's position in Mr. Monroe's heart rose rapidly. Everyone was surprised. Gu Yu Holy Sun compromised. Yen Chuan nodded and said, "Thank you, Gu Yu Holy Sun, for your help." Yen Chuan immediately looked at Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu. Feng Tairan's face revealed a gratified smile. Duan Sanshu also finally understood Yen Chuan's intentions, and a kind smile appeared on his face. Duan Sanshu pointed at a boulder not far away and said, "Go and lift that boulder." Boom! The three swordsmen quickly flipped over the boulder. Immediately, a leather scroll was revealed under the boulder. There was a map on the map. Duan Sanshu looked at Gu Yu Holy Sun and said, "The terrain is complicated in the depths of the Demon Wind Mountains. If you're not careful, you'll get lost. This is the map I recorded. The red dot on the map is the place you're looking for." Gu Yu Holy Sun looked at Duan Sanshu coldly. He reached out and grabbed the map. Whoosh! The map flew into Gu Yu Holy Sun's hand. He looked at the map carefully. "Don't worry, Gu Yu Holy Sun. If this map is fake, you can bury the Daesect with you at any time," Duan Sanshu said confidently. Gu Yu Holy Sun looked at Duan Sanshu below. His face darkened. "You wouldn't dare lie to me. If that's the case, then we'll take our leave." Yen Chuan smiled at Gu Yu Holy Sun. "Leave? You want to leave?" "Humph." Wei Yi suddenly snorted. "Alliance Leader Wei, what do you mean? Gu Yu Holy Sun has agreed to let today's matter go. You want to go against Gu Yu Holy Sun's will? You want to frame the Holy Sun?" Yen Chuan said coldly. "Humph, the Holy Sun is the Holy Sun and I am me. The Holy Sun agreed to let you go, but I didn't. My Life League has a grudge with the Daesect. This is a personal grudge. What do you think?" Wei Yi sneered. "You're shameless," Duan Sanshu cursed. Chapter 289. Yen Chuan looked at Gu Yu Holy Sun. Gu Yu Holy Sun looked on coldly without saying a word. "Gu Yu Holy Sun, don't you have anything to say?" Yen Chuan looked at Gu Yu Holy Sun and asked. "This is a private matter between the Daesect and the Life League. I won't interfere. The people I brought won't interfere either," Gu Yu Holy Sun said coldly. "Ha ha ha ha, did you hear that? Yen Chuan, you only brought so few people from the Daesect this time. Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu are seriously injured. Let's see how you're going to escape today." Wei Chu laughed loudly. Wei Chu's arrogance made many people feel disgusted. The 800 experts who followed Yen Chuan didn't say anything earlier. However, when Yen Chuan and Gu Yu Holy Sun exchanged words, they felt very satisfied. They even put themselves in Yen Chuan's shoes. Especially when Yen Chuan made Gu Yu Holy Sun lower his head. Although the experts' expressions didn't change, their hearts were surging. It was as if they had won against Gu Yu Holy Sun. Wei Chu's arrogance made everyone unhappy. However, no one spoke up to help. They could see that Wei Chu's arrogance was supported by Gu Yu Holy Sun. Although they felt satisfied, no one wanted to offend Gu Yu Holy Sun. They could only watch coldly. "Wait!" Yen Chuan shouted. "What? Any last words?" Wei Chu said coldly. "Bring them up!" Yen Chuan shouted. The 3,000 embroidered uniform army members quickly carried out 14 cloth bags. It seemed like there were people twisting inside. When the cloth bags were opened, the 14 assassins were revealed. "Alliance Master, save me, save me! Alliance Master, save me! Save me!" The assassins were pleasantly surprised to see Wei Qin. "A bunch of trash," Wei Qin said coldly. "Alliance Master Wei, I don't want to fight to the death right now. What do you think?" Yen Chuan said calmly. Wei Qi's eyes flickered with uncertainty. "Humph, you want to use them to threaten me? You're still too inexperienced." Wei Qin's eyes turned cold. Yen Chuan immediately understood Wei Qin's intentions. "Since you don't want to save them, then forget it. Kill. Yen Chuan shouted. Yes. Sss. 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 The spears instantly pierced through the heads of the 14 assassins. Brat, you're courting death. Inside the canyon, Wei Jia and Wei Yi, who had been torturing Feng Tairan, flew into a rage. Let's fight. Disintegrating poison. Duan Sanshu's aura suddenly skyrocketed. He had stimulated the potential of his body by harming himself, erupting with an extraordinary strength. Hong. Duan Sanshu, Wei Jia, and Wei Yi began to fight. The powerful impact immediately set off gusts of wind. Dust and sand were blown up in all directions, and stones were sent flying everywhere. Wei Qin led the Life Alliance's people and coldly watched. Duan Sanshu's reckless fighting style was definitely short-lived. Wei Jia and Wei Yi were more than capable of dealing with him. Yen Chuan's group had to die today. However, wouldn't it be better for them to die in despair? How fierce! Yen Chuan smiled as he looked at Duan Sanshu. Zhu Jiansheng, the 7 swordsmen, and Feng Tairan all looked at Duan Sanshu anxiously and worriedly. Only Yen Chuan could still smile at this moment. Yen Chuan shook his head and walked towards Feng Tairan. At this moment, Yen Chuan was no longer worried. This was because Yen Chuan had just forced Gu Yu Holy Sun to say something. This is a private matter between the Day sect and the Life Alliance. I won't interfere. The others I brought with me won't interfere either. It seemed that Yen Chuan had asked for a rebuff and was humiliated. However, this was a promise that Yen Chuan needed. If Gu Yu Holy Sun didn't interfere, the others wouldn't interfere either. His opponents were only the Life Alliance's people. Yen Chuan walked towards Feng Tairan. Feng Tairan was still frowning. After all, in Feng Tairan's opinion, they were really done for. Here, the Life Alliance had 6,000 Essence Realm cultivators, 300 Qi Realm cultivators, and 5 God Realm cultivators. They couldn't compare at all. Old Feng. Yen Chuan walked in front of Feng Tairan. I've implicated you this time. Feng Tairan smiled bitterly. No, who said that we would definitely lose? Yen Chuan smiled. Seeing Yen Chuan smile, Feng Tairan's expression changed. However, he looked at Yen Chuan in confusion. Old Duan won't be able to hold on for long. As for you, you definitely won't be able to do anything. However, you have a good foundation. Let me do it. Yen Chuan smiled. Oh. Feng Tairan didn't understand. Condense an essence clone for me to control. I'll deal with them. Yen Chuan smiled. What? Feng Tairan was shocked. Why? Are you worried that I'll control you? Haha, what's there to worry about? If you want to control me, then control me. Feng Tairan said casually. Yen Chuan nodded. He placed his finger between Feng Tairan's eyebrows and the two closed their eyes. Buzz. A large amount of essence qi came out of Feng Tairan's pores. Traces of red essence qi gradually condensed into a figure that looked exactly like Feng Tairan. It was an essence clone. Feng Tairan's essence clone. However, Feng Tairan's eyes were different. It was Yen Chuan's overbearing eyes. Yen Chuan controlled Feng Tairan and reached out his hand to pull out the Jade Emperor sword from Yen Chuan's back. Hiss. Feng Tairan walked in front of everyone. The breeze blew his long hair. He looked at everyone from the Life Alliance with an arrogant expression. Chapter 290. Yen Chuan walked to the front and many people looked at him curiously. The Essence Chi avatar was him and no one could touch it. Who would give themselves to someone else as a puppet? Of course, it was reasonable. After all, it was normal for someone who was about to die to do something out of line. However, so what if an Essence State Warrior could control the Essence Chi avatar of an Immortal State Warrior? How powerful could it be? Boom! With a loud bang, Duan Sanshu fell to the ground like a meteor. Bang! Yan Chuan reached out and caught Duan Sanshu. However, Duan Sanshu was covered in blood and looked like he was about to die. Third Uncle Master, Zhujian Sheng and the others quickly gathered around him. After throwing Duan Sanshu to the others, Yan Chuan looked at Wei Jia and Wei Yi who were in the air. Ha 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 ha, Yan Chuan? Wei Qin laughed madly. Your father is stupid. He knew that he would die if he stayed in the day sect. You are even more stupid than your father. Do you think you can defeat an immortal state warrior just because you have an essence chi avatar? Dream on. Wei Yi scolded. Alliance Master, let me crush this essence chi avatar. Ha! Wei Jia laughed. Whoosh! Wei Jia turned into a ray of light and rushed toward Yan Chuan. Yan Chuan looked at Wei Jia coldly and waved the Jade Emperor sword in his hand. Bang! The Jade Emperor sword suddenly exploded with hundreds of sword chi. The sword chi rushed out and immediately formed a sword river. With a wave of his sword, the sword chi turned into a river. Ah! Boom! Wei Jia was shocked and quickly attacked with his sword, but it was still blocked by Yan Chuan. Wei Jia was too careless, but he couldn't lose so quickly. Those who didn't think Yan Chuan would win suddenly became spirited. Wei Yi's face darkened and Gu Yu Holy Sun looked gloomy. Is that all? Life League? Here I come. Yan Chuan sneered. The tip of the Jade Emperor's sword was pressed against the ground. Yan Chuan stepped forward and dragged his sword across the ground, leaving behind a sword mark that emitted an ear-piercing sound. Wei Jia's face humphed. Wei Jia changed the Jade Emperor's sword chi avatar and Gu Yu Holy Sun. The sword techniques of the Life League are only SOSO. Yan Chuan sneered. Buzz. Yan Chuan's sword pierced out. As it pierced out, the Jade Emperor's sword trembled incessantly. Boom. The two swordses Wei Yi Chuan Wei Yi Wei. Then Wei Jia and Gu Wei Yi Chuan again. Impossible. Wei Jia unleashed his aura and crashed into Yan Chuan, instantly dodging the sword. Sword 5. The Jade Emperor's sword immediately emitted a dazzling red light. Clang! Clang! Sword, 2 to San. Sword, Yan Chuan's sword was faster and faster than the previous one, like a talisman that hastened Wei Jia's death. Wei Jia was forced to retreat by Yan Chuan and couldn't fight back at all. Impossible! Impossible! Bang! Wei Jia's Daoist bun was broken by Yan Chuan, and he was in a dangerous situation. Chapter 292. As he spoke, he waved his hand and a cloud formed from water vapor carried Yan Chuan and Feng Tyrant's true bodies. Then, he quickly led everyone out of the valley. Yan Chuan had become famous after this battle. At this moment, no one from the Life League dared to stop him. Yan Chuan swaggered out, leaving behind a group of experts in the canyon. It was as if Yan Chuan's group was the only victor, leaving behind only the losers. Gu Yu Holy Sun's face was gloomy, but he didn't have any excuse to stop them. He just looked on coldly. He watched the 3,000 people slowly leave. Holy Sun, Yan Chuan's reaction speed is too fast. It's the same as Yen Tao's. No, it's better than Yen Tao's. At least, when Yen Tao was in the Essence Realm, his reaction speed couldn't be as fast as a Divine Realm expert. A man in purple said to Gu Yu Holy Sun. I know. Gu Yu Holy Sun said coldly. Yan Chuan's departure means that Feng Tyrant's Essence Chi avatar can't hold on for much longer. The man in purple said again. His voice wasn't soft, as if he was saying it on purpose for Wei Chan to hear. Yes, he's leaving now. Feng Tyrant's Essence Chi avatar can't hold on for much longer. Wei Chan's expression changed. Gu Yu Holy Sun looked at the man in purple with satisfaction. Alright, we've found the place. Let's go to the sealed place now. Guyu Holy Sun said in a deep voice. Yes. Everyone nodded in response. Holy Sun, I'll make some arrangements. Wei Chan said. Wei Bing, Wei Ding, Feng Tyran and Duan Sanshu can't hold on for much longer. Their Essence Chi avatars can't hold on for much longer. I order you to take 6,000 Essence Realm Disciples and 300 Chi Realm Disciples to kill Yan Chuan. If he's alive, I want to see his corpse. Wei Chan said in a deep voice. Yes, Alliance Leader. Wei Bing and Wei Ding replied. Yan Chuan was already so terrifying. He couldn't be allowed to grow any further. Otherwise, he would become the Life League's nightmare in the future. Hearing Wei Yi's order, Guyu Holy Sun felt a little better. Go! Guyu Holy Sun said in a deep voice. As he stepped forward, a white cloud appeared beneath his feet, carrying everyone into the sky. Similarly, a large number of powerhouses followed the white cloud into the depths of the Demon Wind mountain range. Wei Qi followed closely behind Guyu Holy Sun. After Guyu Holy Sun left, the 800 Qi Jing fighters who had been following Yan Chuan were now divided into two groups. Some people gave up on following Yan Chuan and chased after Guyu Holy Sun. However, some people were still following them, but they were not as close as before. Instead, they were following them from afar. After all, Yan Chuan might be able to kill them. Order all disciples to keep an eye on Yan Chuan. Once Feng Tyran is dead, we will avenge your two martial ancestors. Wei Bing shouted. Avenge our martial ancestors! A group of Life League disciples shouted. Yan Chuan's army quickly left the demonic bull Great Demon's nest. Not long after they left, Yan Chuan stopped controlling the Essence Chi clone. The Essence Chi clone turned into Essence Chi and entered Feng Tyran's body again. Feng Tyran's poison had deepened. His face was so black that it was impossible to see his face clearly. Ha 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 ha, cough cough. Yan Chuan, I was right about you. Feng Tyran was being carried, but he was excited. Old Feng, close your eyes. I'll help you expel the poison. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. It's useless. This is the black poison of the Life League. There's no antidote. Although Feng Tyran didn't believe it, he still followed Yan Chuan's instructions. It's just a small poison. I can still detoxify it. Yan Chuan waved his left hand and covered it with his sleeve. Suddenly, an emerald green vine appeared on his left wrist. The vine pressed against Feng Tyran's forehead. Suddenly, the black gas was sucked out by the vine. Feng Tyran was surprised. Feng Tyran felt that the black poison in his body was constantly being extracted. Half an hour later. Phew! Yan Chuan let out a long breath and kept the poisonous vine. Feng Tyran's face was no longer black. Instead, it had turned blood red. My poison? The poison is gone? How is that possible? Feng Tyran was surprised. I have removed the poison from your body. However, the poison has damaged your nerves and meridians. It is not something that can be recovered in a short period of time. Moreover, you have injured your foundation this time. You will need to rest for a long period of time before you can recover. Yan Chuan shook his head. The poison is detoxified. Everything is easy. Feng Tyran laughed. Sect leader, you're fine? That's great. The three swordsmen were pleasantly surprised. Martial uncle, you were really awesome just now. Too awesome. The four swordsmen were also excited. Not only the four swordsmen, almost everyone was in a state of excitement. Yan Chuan's miraculous abilities had completely conquered everyone. Alright, let me check on Duan Sanshu. He's dying. Chapter 293. Below a waterfall in the Demon Wind mountain range. Yan Chuan brought everyone to a stop in front of a deep pool. Martial uncle, this is the bottom of the pool. It leads to the Black Dragon pool. said the four swordsmen. Yes. Thanks to Martial Uncle's thoughtfulness, we have a way out. Now that everyone from the Life League is surrounding us, we can't escape anywhere else. The six swordsmen sighed. Yan Chuan nodded and looked at Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu. The two of them were extremely weak, especially Duan Sanshu. His face was extremely ugly, and his body was covered in blood. Zhu Jiansheng, 7 swordsmen, remember the heavy responsibility of escorting Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu back to the Day sect. You must bring them back to the Day sect to recuperate. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Yes, Martial Uncle, don't worry. The 8 answered. Go back? I can't go back. I'm cursed. I can't leave the Demon Wind mountain range. Duan Sanshu said weakly. You'll only be waiting for death if you stay here, so you must return to the Day sect. As for your curse, I have a way, but I don't know if you're willing to accept it. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Oh! Everyone looked at Yan Chuan in surprise. Curses are actually used on living things, but they can't be used on dead things. As long as you're dead, the curse will be useless. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Ah! Everyone was puzzled. What I mean is, let you fake your death, seal all your major acupoints, and then consume the drunken death grass. Gu Yu and the others have gone to the sealed area. Once the seal is broken, the curse will automatically be lifted. At that time we can wake you up. Yan Chuan thought about it and said, Right, drunken death grass? My master planted one. Zhu Jiansheng's eyes lit up. Ha ha ha! Duan Sanshu smiled weakly and nodded. After all, Duan Sanshu had thought that there was no hope at all. Now that there was hope, Duan Sanshu was naturally delighted. Hua Guang. Yan Chuan looked at Hua Guang and Lu Jin. Present. I'll give you a mission now. The Life Alliance has sent out all of their Immortal State warriors. At most, they only have 100 Chi State and 4,000 Elite State disciples. I want you to lead the First Legion and annihilate the Life Alliance. Uproot them, Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Uprooted? Martial Uncle, Hua Guang and the others are all in the Essence Realm. The Life Moon League has 100 Chi Realm and 4,000 Essence Realm cultivators. How could Hua Guang and the others accomplish that? Zhu Jiansheng said in surprise. The art of war is deceitful. It's not like we're going to meet force with force. If you can't even deal with this little bit of power, how can you be my First Legion? Yan Chuan said solemnly. Yes, Your Majesty. Don't worry. The First Legion will complete the mission. Hua Guang immediately promised. Good. Go and reorganize the army first. We'll leave immediately. Yes. Hua Guang went to greet the soldiers. Yan Chuan looked at Zhu Jiansheng and said, after escorting Feng Tairan and the others back to the sect, if you have nothing else to do, follow Hua Guang and have a look. But try not to interfere. Yes, we will. Zhu Jiansheng immediately said. Obviously, he wanted Zhu Jiansheng and the others to take care of Hua Guang. Zhu Jiansheng naturally agreed. Your Majesty, what's wrong? Are you not going back with us? Lu Jin's expression suddenly changed. Everyone looked at Yan Chuan in surprise. I'm not going back. I still need to find someone. Yan Chuan shook his head. You still need to find someone? The woman in white? Martial Uncle, you're in danger. The 3 swordsmen immediately shouted. Don't try to persuade me. Yan Chuan shook his head. At this moment, even if the sky fell down, Yan Chuan would not leave. Chapter 294. Then, let's stay and protect Martial Uncle. The 4 swordsmen shouted. No need. I'm a small target by myself. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Yan Chuan shook his head. But everyone was anxious. Say no more. I've made up my mind. Yan Chuan shook his head. But everyone looked at Yan Chuan and didn't know what to say. King, old slave, stay. This is an order. Everyone must leave. Yan Chuan said. Yes, Lu Jin said with a complicated expression. Feng Tairan and Duan Sanshu looked at Yan Chuan weakly. They knew that they couldn't persuade him and could only sigh. "All right," Duan Sanshu suddenly said. "Martial nephew, open my shoe," Duan Sanshu said to the four swordsmen. Duan Sanshu opened the shoe and revealed a scroll. "This is?" The four swordsmen were surprised. "The map of the sealed land. I drew 2 copies. You can keep this one in case you need it," Duan Sanshu said with a smile. Yan Chuan took the map and nodded. Whoosh! The waterfall fell. Yan Chuan stood on the shore and watched everyone enter the deep pool. They followed the pool and left the demonic wind mountain range. After everyone left, Yan Chuan's expression turned serious. He tightened his belt and rushed to a mountain peak with the Jade Emperor sword on his back and looked down. Standing on the mountain peak, he could vaguely see the Life League's disciples in the distance. The Life League's Taoist robes were unique. There was a moon on the chest and a sun on the back. Therefore, Yan Chuan recognized them at a glance. Yan Chuan touched the Jade Emperor sword and said with narrowed eyes, "Hua Guang and the others have left, but this place can't be exposed. Jade Emperor, it's up to us now. If we want to divert the Life League's attention, we can only kill." Buzz. The Jade Emperor's sword trembled violently as if it was happy about Yan Chuan's decision. "Let's start the massacre." Yan Chuan's eyes turned cold as he rushed down the mountain. 8 disciples of the Life League were searching around. "Not here. Senior brother, there's nothing here either." "Humph, they won't be able to escape. There are so many of them, and they have already been completely surrounded by us. Find them for me. The first person to discover Yan Chuan's group will be rewarded with 500 spirit stones." "Yes. Looking for me?" Yan Chuan's voice suddenly sounded. The 8 of them were slightly stunned. "It's just Yan Chuan. The Alliance Master said that Yan Chuan is at the 3rd level of the Essence Realm. Let's attack together and take down Yan Chuan. The Alliance Master will reward us handsomely," someone said in surprise. "Take him down." Everyone rushed over. "You overestimate yourself," Yan Chuan sneered. With a wave of the Jade Emperor's sword, Yan Chuan stepped forward to meet them head-on. The Jade Emperor's sword danced in the air, and the sky was filled with sword shadows. SSSS. SSSS. Clang. SSSS. The 8 of them fell to the ground at the same time, their eyes filled with disbelief. There was a fatal wound on each of their bodies. At the same time, the 8 of them, who were originally full of blood, were now pale and bloodless. All the blood in their bodies had been sucked out by the Jade Emperor's sword. "This is just the beginning." Yan Chuan coldly stepped over the 8 corpses and shot into the distance. Yan Chuan followed the map given by Duan Sanshu and headed deep into the Demon Wind mountain range. He killed all the disciples of the Life League who were searching for him. In a valley in the Demon Wind mountain range, Wei Bing and Wei Ding were listening to the report of 2 disciples. "Martial uncles, it's been 5 days and another 20 have died. There are already more than 100 people. Yan Chuan has already killed more than 100 of our disciples," a Qi Jing expert said with an ugly expression. Chapter 295. Moreover, every disciple who was killed turned into a dried corpse. They died a horrible death. Find, you must find them," Wei Bing shouted. Yes. Hurry up and go," Wei Ding shouted. "Yes." The 2 disciples left quickly. Wei Bing and Wei Ding looked gloomy. "Yan Chuan alone? He killed more than 100 of us in the Essence State in 5 days? We can't let him walk out of the Demon Wind mountain range. The Alliance Master is right. If Yan Chuan doesn't die, the Life Alliance will never have a day of peace," Wei Bing said with a gloomy face. "Most importantly, Yan Chuan is very cunning. He avoided all the disciples in the Qi state and only killed those in the essence state. Wei Ding said with a pale face. He's going to die. The people of the Great River sect have disappeared. So what if they disappeared? Yan Chuan's death is enough. We have 6,000 disciples. Let's see how he's going to kill them all. Yan Chuan headed north. The disciples of the Life League kept encircling him. The outer sect disciples who followed Yan Chuan's army gradually got the news. 2 white-robed swordsmen stood at the top of a mountain. 300 people? Yan Chuan has killed 300 people alone? His father is the blood demon. He is also a monster. 300 people, all of them in the same level. He killed them all and drew their blood. This Yan Chuan is too powerful. But it doesn't matter. Yan Chuan didn't meet any Qi state masters. Let's keep watching. Another canyon. Haha, Yan Chuan, let's see where you can run to this time. Send the signal. A disciple of the Life League shouted. Yes, uncle. 10 or so disciples in the essence state answered. Whoosh! A light like fireworks shot up to the sky. Yan Chuan's eyes turned cold. He turned his wrist and the Jade Emperor's sword rushed into the crowd. Sword light shot out in all directions. Die. Ci. Ah. Yan Chuan's sword was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he had already killed 5 people at the elite state. You are courting death. The Qi Jing leader's face darkened as he swung his sword towards Yan Chuan. Clang! The 2 swords collided, and a large amount of sword qi burst out. Boom! After all, Yan Chuan was only in the essence realm, so he was sent flying. However, there were 3 Essence Stage Life League disciples in the direction he was flying in. Die! 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 The Jade Emperor's sword took advantage of the momentum and swung out. Under 3 streaks of sword light, another 3 Life League disciples died on the spot. Bastard! The Qi Jing fighter shouted as he swung his sword again. Dozens of sword qi flew towards Yan Chuan. Dang, dang, dang! Yan Chuan quickly blocked the sword qi. Qi! A beam of sword qi tore open Yan Chuan's sleeve. However, Yan Chuan still managed to dodge it. Yan Chuan didn't fight the Qi Jing fighters head-on. Instead, he attacked the remaining Essence Stage disciples. Martial Uncle, help! A few Essence Stage disciples shouted in fear. Help? No one can save you. Kill! The crazy Yan Chuan swung the Jade Emperor's sword viciously. With Yan Chuan's sword skills, these Essence Stage disciples were no match for him. The difference in cultivation level wasn't big, so he could kill them with one strike. You are courting death. The Qi Jing fighter was about to go crazy. He raised his sword and charged towards Yan Chuan. Yan Chuan stared at the Qi Jing fighter and raised his sword. Yan Chuan's sword skills were extremely fast. In a flash, the Qi Jing fighter's sword qi was cut open. Under the Qi Jing fighter's control, the sword qi flew towards Yan Chuan's body. Qi. Yan Chuan's skin was cut open, but the Qi Jing fighter was also cut open. Their wounds were about the same, but the Jade Emperor's sword sucked blood. Ah! The Qi Jing fighter screamed in pain and quickly dodged. Yan Chuan covered his wound and said regretfully, "Too bad, it only cut open my skin." Xiao. Yan Chuan ran towards the forest. The Qi Jing fighter covered his wound with his pale face. He looked at Yan Chuan running away, but he didn't chase after him. Soon, a large number of Life League disciples gathered. He ran in that direction, tell everyone to chase after him. The Qi Jing fighter shouted. Chapter 296. Super Yan Chuan in a Forest. Qi. Yan Chuan killed another disciple of the Life League. Yan Chuan did not know how many people he had killed. His clothes were tattered and there were sword scars on his body. However, with Yan Chuan's ability, these scars would disappear soon. The Jade Emperor sword was bright red and energy poured into Yan Chuan's body. Jade Emperor sword? Putting aside the evil aura, killing people can also increase my cultivation? Yan Chuan sighed. Releasing the evil energy in his body, Yan Chuan's body glowed red. Another breakthrough? At this time? Looks like I have to find a quiet place. Yan Chuan smiled bitterly. Whoosh! Yan Chuan shot into the forest, leaving behind a pile of dried corpses. After Yan Chuan left, a group of people quickly arrived. The disciples of the Life League had ugly expressions on their faces. The news spread quickly. In a valley, a few outer sect disciples were telling each other the news they had gathered. Yan Chuan is really crazy. 600 people in the elite state. That's terrifying. He killed 600 people with the same cultivation? 600 people in the elite state are nothing. I heard that during this period of time, 8 Qi Jing experts were also injured by Yan Chuan. Everyone was silent for a while. Crazy. Finally, someone could not help but say, if I had just started cultivating, I would have worshipped him as my master. He's too fierce. Yes, I would be satisfied as long as he is half as fierce as he is. As long as Yan Chuan walks out of the Demon Wind mountain range alive, his name will be known throughout the world. Senior brother, are we still following him? Of course, why not? Even if we can't get the heaven-class cultivation technique, we can still witness a legend. Even if he falls soon, we won't be lonely in the Demon Wind mountain range this time. Okay, let's follow him. At this moment, Yan Chuan was like a magnet, attracting the gazes of countless practitioners. Of course, the most important thing was still the disciples of the Life Alliance. At the peak of a mountain, the 5 Qi Jing warriors carried their swords on their backs and looked into the distance. Master, martial uncle, we've found him. We've found Yan Chuan's whereabouts again. Someone quickly ran over. You found it? The 5 Qi Jing warriors' faces darkened. Yan Chuan's ferocity during this period of time had already made a group of experts somewhat fearful. Yes, he's in a valley up ahead. He seems to be adjusting his breathing. Regulating breathing. Yes, master, what should we do now? Are we going to kill them? No! Then what should we do? Don't disturb Yan Chuan. Inform everyone and gather all the disciples of the Life League. This time, we must take him down. Yes. But what if Yan Chuan escapes? We'll set up the Sun-Moon Cycle Grand Formation outside, allowing entry but not exit. Trap him there and wait for our reinforcements to arrive. Then, we'll attack with all our might. Yes. A few days later, the valley where Yan Chuan was located was filled with white fog. It was obvious that the Sun-Moon Cycle Grand Formation had been set up, trapping Yan Chuan within. Outside the Grand Formation, more and more disciples of the Life League gathered. At this moment, there were close to 200 second-generation Qi Jing disciples, and close to 4,000 third-generation Qi Jing disciples. The 200 Qi Jing disciples looked at each other and finally looked at a bald man. Chapter 297. Senior brother, the 2 martial uncles should still be on their way here. Now that we have so many people attacking Yan Chuan, can we make a move now? The bald man squinted his eyes and said, absolutely. With so many of us, even if we just stand there and let him kill us, he will be exhausted. If we don't make a move now, how can we face our fellow cultivators in the future? Yes. Enter the formation and kill Yan Chuan. Yes. 200 Qi Realm and 4,000 Essence Realm cultivators roared as they stepped into the white fog and headed towards the valley where Yan Chuan was. In the valley, Yan Chuan sat cross-legged under a tree. His breathing was steady and his face was calm. His hands were placed on his knees, forming the lotus hand seal. Boom! Yan Chuan's body suddenly let out a muffled sound. Phew! 4th level of the Essence Realm? Yan Chuan asked calmly. Buzz. The Jade Emperor's sword that was stabbed into the ground shook violently as a warning. Yan Chuan slowly opened his eyes. The Jade Emperor's sword stopped shaking as soon as he opened his eyes. Yan Chuan stood up slowly and looked around. Above the valley, there were many Life League disciples. Thousands of people surrounded Yan Chuan from all directions. Yan Chuan looked around and saw that all of the Life League's disciples were holding their long swords tightly, looking at him nervously and seriously. Xing. Yan Chuan pulled out the Jade Emperor's sword and looked at the thousands of people around him. Yan Chuan, you can't run away. A second-generation disciple of the Life League shouted. No one can save you. This time you are dead. There is still our formation outside. You have nowhere to run. Break your own meridians, and I will consider leaving your corpse intact. Many Qi realm cultivators kept on talking as if they were looking at a dead body. Yan Chuan sneered and said, You think you can stop me? Your swordsmanship is good, but you're only in the essence realm. Only in the essence realm. A bald man said coldly. Then, what if I'm in the Qi state? Yan Chuan smiled. Qi realm? The Life League's disciples were shocked. Don't listen to his nonsense. He must be in the profound state. As long as his cultivation is higher than 2 levels, he can see through his opponent's cultivation. Martial Uncle is in the immortal state, so he can see through his opponent's cultivation. Yan Chuan is at LV3 of the profound state. A Qi Jing expert said. Humph. Yan Chuan, don't struggle anymore. You're dead for sure. The group of experts composed themselves one after another. Really? I'm not talking about the current state. Yan Chuan laughed. Humph, don't listen to his nonsense. Kill for me. The bald man shouted. Kill. Many cultivators charged down from the surrounding mountain peak. Close to 4,000 elite realm warriors. Even if you were to chop them down, you would still be able to chop them down until your hands went numb. Yan Chuan closed his eyes slightly in the face of the 4,000 cultivators charging at him. He released the evil energy that the Jade Emperor's sword had imbued into him. Plop, plop, plop. Yan Chuan's heart was beating faster and faster. In the blink of an eye, it had doubled in size. Boom. Yan Chuan's tattered clothes suddenly fluttered despite the lack of wind. A powerful aura gushed out from Yan Chuan's body. Who? Her long hair fluttered in the wind. Not only was her hair fluttering in the wind, but it was also growing longer and turning red. Rumble. All of a sudden, a large amount of red aura appeared around Yan Chuan. The aura turned into a storm and quickly revolved around Yan Chuan. Rumble. Sand and pebbles were sent flying in all directions, and for a moment, a violent storm was stirred up, and an extremely evil aura was emitted. For a moment, Yan Chuan seemed to have turned into a red demon, which made the disciples of the Life League change their expressions and stop in their tracks. Chapter 298. Rumble. Yan Chuan's aura continued to rise. The violent aura formed a whirlwind that blew towards the surrounding peaks. Blood Devil Yan Tao? No, Yan Chuan. Yan Chuan can also turn into a blood devil. Blood devil? It's really a blood devil. The disciples of the Four Moons Alliance exclaimed. Qi state? This is the aura of the Qi state. It's really the Qi state. Someone exclaimed. As for Yan Chuan, he was currently in a state of extreme excitement. His blood was boiling and making a gurgling sound. Yan Chuan could feel the power that his blood was giving him. Not enough. Not enough. I'm not completely excited yet. Yan Chuan's aura grew stronger and stronger. What are you afraid of? Kill him. No matter what kind of demon he turns into, he's only one person. Why should we be afraid of him? Kill! Kill! The surrounding overlords gathered their courage and charged forward with their swords. Soon, Yan Chuan was surrounded in the center. Buzz! Yan Chuan suddenly opened his eyes. A red light immediately gushed out from his eyes. The person standing in front of Yan Chuan suddenly stopped and looked at Yan Chuan's eyes in horror. Yan Chuan's eyes were blood-red. Under the blood-red eyes, there was an evil aura that no one had ever seen before. It was an evil aura. You. Just looking at those eyes was enough to make one's heart skip a beat. Yan Chuan, who was surrounded by the blood-red storm, suddenly let out an evil smile. Blood-red eyes? Super theurgy? So I'm Super Yan Chuan? What a great feeling. I like this feeling. Ha 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 ha. Yan Chuan's personality changed drastically. Although he was rational, he was no longer the reserved person he used to be. More than 4,000 people? If you want to die, so be it. Ha! Yan Chuan laughed and rushed into the crowd. Ci. The Jade Emperor's sword danced, and immediately, blood-red sword chi shot out. Yan Chuan's speed was extremely fast, so fast that in many people's eyes, he was only a shadow. In the blink of an eye, he charged into the crowd. Their swords danced as more and more people surrounded Yan Chuan. More and more disciples rushed over without any regard for their lives. It was as if they had formed a huge human pile, trapping Yan Chuan in the center. Attack together and kill him! Kill! Roar! Yan Chuan let out a loud roar. Close to 100 practitioners were sent flying by an extremely huge force. It was as if there was a huge explosion. Close to 100 practitioners soared into the sky together. It was as if the sky was filled with flowers, and the rain was sprinkling down. Help! Ci. Hundreds of sword chi soared into the sky and instantly, close to 100 practitioners were cut in half. Only a few screams were left before they were completely killed. Bang! A large number of broken limbs fell down, but Yan Chuan did not care about them. Instead, he rushed towards another group of people and killed them. He was like a meat grinder as he rushed towards the crowd. Suddenly, broken limbs filled the sky. Not good, everyone in the Qi realm, attack together, quick! The bald man shouted. Kill! Close to 200 Qi realm practitioners raised their swords and rushed towards Yan Chuan. However, Yan Chuan did not even bother to fight with them. Instead, he continued to kill the group of Qi realm practitioners. Now that Yan Chuan had reached the Qi realm, his speed was not any slower than the other Qi realm practitioners. Therefore, the group of Qi realm practitioners chased after him. Yan Chuan was in the midst of hunting down elite realm experts. As the Qi realm practitioners were killed, the Jade Emperor's sword absorbed a large amount of blood qi for him. It was as if the previous slaughter did not consume any blood qi at all. Kill! 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 Wherever Yan Chuan went, the sky was filled with dismembered corpses. Everywhere he went, there was no one who did not cry for their parents. Blood demon is here. Help! Master, save me! Don't kill me, ah! Inside the Sun-Moon Samsara Grand Formation, an unprecedented massacre began. Chapter 299. Inside the Sun-Moon Samsara Formation. At the peak of a mountain, Yan Chuan's blood-red hair danced in the wind. He was surrounded by a bloody aura as he held the Jade Emperor's sword in his hand. He looked like a demon from hell as he stared at the terrified Life League disciples below the mountain. It had been 2 hours, and there were already 1,500 Essence Realm cultivators that had died under Yan Chuan's sword. 10 Qi Realm cultivators had also been killed by Yan Chuan. Yan Chuan was like a meat grinder. Wherever he went, there was only death. However, under the joint attack of the Qi Realm cultivators, Yan Chuan's arm was cut open. This was the only wound left after killing the 15,000 Sun-Moon Alliance disciples. As some blood flowed out, Yan Chuan looked at his wound. He was not angry. Instead, he revealed an evil smile. He placed the wound in front of him, and stuck out his tongue to lick the blood on the wound. The evil light in his eyes became even more intense. Although he was still rational, his nature had become extremely evil. Licking blood was something that Yen Chuan would never do before he demonized. However, he did it now, and he seemed to enjoy it. The evil smile, the evil look in his eyes, and the scene of him licking blood caused the Life League disciples to be terrified. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. What kind of monster is this? Twisting his neck, Yen Chuan laughed. The game has just begun. Let's continue. Ha 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 ha. You, Yen Chuan, what are you doing? A Qi realm cultivator said with his scalp numb. Game? Have you forgotten? Either you kill me or I kill all of you. Come and kill me, I'm coming. Yen Chuan said with a ferocious face. Xiao. Turning into a bloody light, Yen Chuan dove down towards the crowd of cultivators. Save me. The Essence Realm cultivators all ran away in fear. Run? The game is not over yet, and you want to run? Leave all of them behind. My Jade Emperor loves your blood. Ha 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 ha. Shh. It was a one-sided massacre. Yen Chuan continuously killed elite realms. Everyone, let's attack together. The Sun and Moon reincarnation spell formation can only be entered but not exited. Yen Chuan has already killed all of the elite realm experts, so now it's time for us to attack. If we don't join forces now, we will be slaughtered by him. If we can injure him once, we can continue to injure him. Kill. The cruel slaughter continued. Yen Chuan was like the Grim Reaper. Wherever he passed, corpses and organs flew everywhere. Help! The elite realms cried and fled in all directions. However, after Yen Chuan transformed into a devil, he became more and more excited and happy as he killed. Kill. Only by killing could he vent the joy in his heart. Outside the Sun-Moon Samsara formation, the disciples of the Life League rushed into the formation from all directions. They had no idea that what awaited them was the despair of death. More and more outer sect disciples gathered around, but they didn't rush in. Instead, they stood outside and watched. It's been 4 hours. I wonder what's going on inside. 4,800 people have already gone in to kill Yen Chuan. There's only Yen Chuan inside. He must be dead. More than 4,000 elite realms and 200 Qi realms. Why hasn't he come out yet? Yen Chuan is only in the elite realm. He should be dead by now. I wonder if Yen Chuan can escape. I don't think so. Yen Chuan is doomed. Chapter 300. The outer sect disciples were all waiting for the result. Humans have a common trait of sympathizing with the weak. They all sighed for Yen Chuan. But no one knew that the situation inside the array was not what they had imagined. After Yen Chuan turned into a demon, he killed everyone. 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. He killed from morning to night. The disciples of the Life League had not come out yet. Countless experts from the outer sect were puzzled. What was going on inside? Inside the Sun and Moon Samsara array. There were dried corpses everywhere. There were already 5,000 people who had entered the formation, but there were only 1,000 people left. Only 1,000 people were left, and these 1,000 people looked as if they were about to go crazy. Don't kill me. Help. Impossible. Yen Chuan should have run out of energy by now. Why? Senior brother, I can't take it anymore. I can't kill him. Yen Chuan has been hit more than 50 times, but I still can't kill him. Senior brother, what should we do? Roar. Yen Chuan let out an evil roar. His eyes lit up as he charged towards the group of elite realms. Ah, master, save me! I want to go out. Withdraw the array, withdraw the array. The elite state cultivators shouted crazily. Go out? Don't even think about leaving. The game is not over yet. Continue, continue. Die, all of you die. Hiss! Hiss! The Jade Emperor's sword was blood-red and emitted a bright light. Its power was pouring into Yan Chuan's body. Yan Chuan seemed to never be tired. He kept killing. Most of the elite state cultivators were dead. Yan Chuan also killed more than 100 Qi state cultivators. The rest of the Qi state cultivators were so scared that they did not know what to do. Kill, kill again. If Yan Chuan doesn't die, we will. Kill. The Qi state cultivators roared and rushed forward. Good timing. Yan Chuan smiled evilly. Rumble. The battle never stopped. Outside the Sun-Moon Samsara formation, more and more experts gathered, as if they were all waiting for the news of Yan Chuan's death. However, the formation did not withdraw and continued to hold on. The people who went in never came out again. No one knew what happened inside. At the same time, he wanted to see what was inside. Swish. Finally, the two figures landed in front of the Grand Array. Wei Bing and Wei Ding of the Life League? Someone recognized them. Wei Bing and Wei Ding looked at the array in front of them. There were dozens of people around them using their Dharma treasures to support the array. How is it? Wei Bing asked in a deep voice. Honorable martial ancestors, the second-generation great senior martial brother said that the formation cannot be removed unless the two of you are here. Yan Chuan is inside. Our Life League has more than 5,000 disciples and 300 Qi realm cultivators. The person who set up the formation said respectfully. It's been 12 hours, right? Wei Yi smiled. Yes, it's been 12 hours. Ha ha ha, it's been 12 hours. Yan Chuan must be dead. Let's withdraw the formation. Wei Jia laughed. Yes. Rumble. The rolling fog slowly dissipated, and the formation gradually disappeared, revealing the scene inside. Everyone looked inside with rapt attention. Ah! Don't kill me, don't kill me! Blood demon, blood demon, blood demon! You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.